It is 6 o'clock. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans are off again today, but will return to practice tomorrow. Yesterday, head coach Brian Callahan met with the media and talked about what he can do to not lose the locker room despite starting the season 0-3.
We got to play better on Sundays. We have to coach better on Sundays. That's the end-all message for me. You know, winning solves all that stuff always, whether they point fingers or don't point fingers. That's all we have is what we have in the locker room, and all I care about is those guys and how well we can rally our troops and go down to Houston and try to get ourselves a win.
In other NFL news, Week 3 concluded last night with Detroit Lions taking down the Baltimore Ravens 38-30 in Baltimore. Lions star running back duo of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs each rushed for 2 touchdowns on the night. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson finished completing 21 of 27 passes for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. Running back Derrick Henry rushed 12 times for 50 yards and a touchdown, and his third fumble of the year in as many games. Some injury news in the NFL. Los Angeles Chargers running back Najee Harris suffered a torn Achilles Sunday. Head coach Jim Harbaugh confirmed Harris will miss the rest of the 2025 season. And San Francisco 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan confirmed that star edge rusher Nick Bosa suffered a torn ACL in Sunday's win over the Cardinals, and he will miss the remainder of the 2025 season as well. And big news in college basketball yesterday as Auburn head coach Bruce Pearl has announced his retirement after nearly 50 years of coaching college basketball. His son, Stephen Pearl, has signed a 5-year contract to take over for Auburn. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning. Welcome into your Tuesday edition of Ramon and Will. We're fueled by Scooters Coffee, locally owned and operated. Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Ramon Foster has driven on I-40 between Nashville and Knoxville like 18 times in the last week, but he is here this morning. We take your phone calls at 615-737-1045. An hour 2 topic that's going to get the people going this morning. VolQuest Austin Price at 8:20. We look ahead to a monster college football weekend and, of course, talk about a lot of Titans with you. Streaming the show live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Justin Hawkins, Ramon Foster, Will Bowling. Could you drive I-40 with your eyes closed? At this point?
At this point, yes. I can. I know when to get on the gas. I know when to pull back.
You know when 18-wheelers are going to block you from going the speed limit?
Gosh. By far one of the worst parts of it is the 18-wheelers just hogging the lane. But again, I respect the big truck drivers. 1,000% I do. And also know now I've hit the weave. Like, I guess once you get up to Crossville and you just change time zones and you go through the mountains, man, it's pretty unique. And no phone calls during there too. Like, you can have one if you like, but you're more than likely going to lose signal or have somebody's like, what you say? Like, because signal breaks up a little bit in between there. But I enjoy that ride. Keish, my wife, was just like, you should have just stayed. I was just like, well, but I had to come back from Mike Keith's thing on Sunday. And I was just like, to be honest with you, I don't mind that drive at all.
Bad. It's not bad at all.
It's not only worst part about that drive is losing the hour going Eastern.
Yep.
I hate
no doubt
Eastern time.
Or when you're doing it after 10 p.m. after calling a volleyball match and you run into 4 different spots at I-40 where they put it down to 1 lane. I wouldn't be speaking from experience or anything like last week, but yes, that is also the worst part.
You also
they decided to do road work late at night and make it so much more difficult.
I denied going back up there on Sunday night. I denied the GPS like 4 times. About the same thing. I was just like, well, you can get off, I think it was exit 363. You can get off exit 363. And I was like, nope. And then I saw all the traffic. And it asked me one last time, and I hit confirm. And it took, 15 minutes off my drive by going 75.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. I
like it.
Yeah, I almost got stuck for a long time.
Well, last night, a great game of Monday Night Football. The Lions beat the Ravens 38-30. And Derrick Henry Another fumble to cost his team the game. Maybe not as much to cost his team the game this time as it is a very big reason why they lost the game. 3 straight games with a fumble is the it tied longest streak of his career. He did the same thing here in 2022, weeks 14 through 16. Last year, Derrick Henry fumbled 3 times on 325 carries. This year, he hit it on just 41 carries. He was distraught. Ramon Foster on the sideline last night after the fumble helped the Detroit Lions win in Baltimore.
I mean, this is becoming a problem now for Derrick. Again, not to say that Derrick is running high or he's running hard, people getting out of his way. What they're doing is sidestepping him and trying to bat the ball out or hitting him as he's coming to the ground with the ball in his hand. It's at this point now where he's got to become more conscious about everything that he's doing when he's carrying the football. I missed the actual fumble because I did actually get tired last night. I went to bed right at halftime. But I'm trying to see if he had on the arm sleeves again.
2 black arm sleeves. Aiden Hutchinson punched it out from behind.
So exactly as I thought.
Literally exactly what you just described. I thought you'd watched it when you described it that way.
Exactly as I thought. Like, guys are, and here he is, slamming helmets and falling to the ground. God, I believe in look good, feel good, play good. I also believe in practicality, too.
100%. And, I mean, he said it after the game, he said, I'm at a loss for words. Says, I apologize to Flock Nation. It's not a good feeling. I'm going to keep working to get it fixed.
I look at, again, the arm sleeves. The leather to skin feel is a whole lot different than the synthetic black sleeve that he's got on too. It is actually slippery. Like, I do know that. Like, as an offensive lineman, I never wore one in a game, but I do know that. And if you have guys who are not trying to hit you directly and coming from the side of you to knock the ball out, Derrick's got to change that. Fashion is one thing. Looking good is another thing. But if you've cost your team 2 crucial fumbles, that's a little bit of a you problem at that point. He should feel that one at this point, Will.
So besides just the fumbling, the Ravens were held to 85 total rushing yards last night. That is the first time Baltimore has generated fewer than 100 rushing yards in back-to-back games since Lamar Jackson became the starter. Week 11, 2018. Think about that. Since Lamar Jackson became the starter, they have never been held to fewer than 100 rushing yards in back-to-back games. Henry, 50 rushing yards on 12 carries with a first-quarter rushing touchdown, and, of course, that fumble generated 50 or fewer rushing yards in consecutive games for the first time since weeks 14 and 15 in 2023.
Man, this makes no sense for them.
It is concerning. They're playing really good teams. I think the Ravens are the best 1 and 2 team in football, and I don't think it's close. But the results are the results at this point. And I understand why Ravens fans are probably a little concerned about where things are this early in the season.
Yeah. Well, they should be. And also this, so I was listening to Chris Canty talk about this this morning coming in, Baltimore alum and former Super Bowl champion too. Their defense is also just getting run down, too. Detroit plays smash mouth football with them, and that is mostly their color card. Like, Dan Campbell is actually, other than the first game of the season, he's proving his worth as a head coach. He's lost two offensive coordinators, 2 head coaching jobs. Aaron Glenn, I mean, he's been in games with the Jets and hadn't won one just yet, but you can tell what their team is through the DNA. And I know that's probably a conversation that the Titans want to be able to have at some point. No matter how many coordinators you lose, your standard stays the same. And Dan Campbell has adjusted to his first big vacancies when it comes down to the coordinator's job. But again, you look at this situation with what they have going on. They are attacking. They will run the football. And before I went to bed last night, like, their running backs, Montgomery and also Jahmyr Gibbs, they got I don't even know if you call them thunder and lightning. They will hit you.
Lightning and lightning.
Yes. They will hit you though, man. And they matched what the Ravens are known for. And I heard them making excuses. Well, they're missing Matabike, Isaiah Likely. It don't matter. You run up, you face the consequences of what happened.
Couldn't stop the run.
Could not stop the run.
Stace writes in at Ramon and Will on Twitter and says, Callahan needs to go to the school of Dan Campbell. Well, I mean, you're willing to not fire him if he goes 3-13-1? Because that's what Dan Campbell did in year 2.
Sure did, Will.
I mean, we've made this point before that Dan Campbell was given a lot of time. And in 2021, in year one of the Campbell era with the Detroit Lions, he went 3-13-1. That team started the season very poorly, as I try to pull it up again to get the exact stats on it. They started the season 0-10-1 and did not win their first game until December 5th.
I got another one for you.
Hit me.
Zach Taylor. First year, 2-14. Second year, 4-11-1. 2 years. Who's Green Bay's coach? I feel like he was in a similar situation.
Matt LaFleur, no, he stepped in right away and won. No.
Okay, well, it's Zach Taylor I'm thinking of. Then.
Yeah, it's Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor did the exact same thing. We talked about this. Can you stomach losing to get better for the future? That's what those two teams did. Now, I know Detroit had a long history of trying to figure it out, but clearly – I will say this, from what I've seen and what I've heard, and maybe it's changing. You'll see a little bit more as you go on the road, too. But I don't think Callahan's lost faith. I mean, Jeff, in the players. Jeff even said yesterday, don't boo him, boo us. I mean,
Sunday. Yeah.
Sunday, yeah. Don't boo him, boo us is what he said. So he still has backing inside of the locker room the same way Dan Campbell did in Detroit, Zach Taylor did in Cincinnati. Can you stomach Brian Callahan in year 3?
Yeah, Andy on Facebook says, but was Dan Campbell making these kinds of mistakes? I'm not saying it's a one-to-one comparison. I'm just saying Dan Campbell had time to learn how to be a head coach and had time to figure it out.
With a lot of losing.
I'm giving you the information and letting you decide with what you will.
They're so ready for Cali to be gone. And I'm sure Detroit fans wanted Dan Campbell to be gone, too.
For the comparison, in year 2, Dan Campbell started 1-6. So for those of you saying, well, but that was year 1. All right, well, in year 2, they beat the Washington Commanders 36-27 in week 2 and then lost 5 games in a row to be 1-6 on October the 30th.
Can you stomach this?
615-737-1045 is our number. We are live from the 1045 The Zone Circa Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circa Sports at Kentucky Downs. The Titans say they are considering all options, but are also keeping their current process in-house. You'll hear from head coach Brian Callahan coming up next. When it comes to ensuring clean air in your home, Lee Company delivers. Their award-winning team provides thorough whole home duct cleaning services that eliminate dust, debris, and other allergens from your HVAC system. The result? Improved air quality, enhanced system efficiency, and peace of mind. Even better, Lee Company is offering 10% off a whole home duct cleaning for a limited time. So why wait? Schedule online at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com for their duct cleaning services. You got to trust the folks that have over 80 years of experience here in Middle Tennessee. Trusted since 1944, Lee Company is open 24/7, and they have 14 community locations. So put the very best players on your team and save on a whole home duct cleaning with my friends at Lee Company. 615-567-1000. That's 10% off a whole home duct cleaning for a limited time online at leecompany.com. That's Lee Company, all you need. Hey, I want to tell you about my new obsession. Yeah, you know, Daisy French onion dip. I'm all over this stuff. It is my guilty pleasure during football season. I love eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies, whether I'm making the wings, whether I'm shopping by the store to get a big bag of chips. This stuff is versatile, guys. Daisy has come out with this delicious French onion dip and ranch dip. It's a game changer. The thick ranch, the great herbs and spices, the ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. It tastes like you just whipped it up in the kitchen as you're watching the football. You got to give this stuff a try. Whether you are watching football under the roof of your own home, whether you're going to a watch party, your friends are going to be impressed. If you pop open the lid, throw this thing in a container and bring it to the watch party, check it out at a grocery store near you. Daisy French onion dip, Daisy ranch dip. This stuff is terrific. You're going to enjoy it for your snacks this football season. That's Daisy French onion dip at a grocery store near you. Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooters Coffee, 615-737-1045. So Brian Callahan says the Titans are evaluating everything. Ramon, did you have any big takeaways from the head coach yesterday? Pretty much not letting anyone into the process of what happened Sunday in terms of not making a decision on the field goal or the first half stuff. But this was maybe the first time when he was asked about giving up play calling that it was kind of an ambiguous answer.
It kind of was, man. He's supposed to. That answer was. I thought, all right, yeah, I'll say what I have to. Just shut up. Let me move forward. It's the way I felt about it. I don't know if he's willing to do that because how confident are you in Nick Holtz? That's the guy I think that's second in command to call plays. I know you mentioned Mike McCoy. Everybody's been mentioning Mike McCoy
because he's been a head coach before.
Maybe it's the reason why he's not one now. I just want to throw that out there. It's like there's a reason for all of these types of things, man. But Callahan giving that answer yesterday, I felt like was a stock of an answer, me personally, that you could give. Because, yes, I'm supposed to evaluate everything. What am I doing wrong? For a guy like him, I would almost, more than like giving up the plays, I just let Nick call him in my ear, like, hey, what do you want? What should we be doing in these type of situations? More than just saying, hey, I'm not giving plays or having any influence on the duration of the offense or how you delegate what you're calling next. I do think this too, as a first-time head coach, as a first-time in-game play caller, there's still a lot that he's managing it and figuring out himself. Like your first time calling plays, whether he's called it in the preseason games or not, it's in an NFL game, was very competitive, and the margin for error is so much smaller than every other error. Like he hadn't been in 3rd and 2 with 4 minutes left type of situations before, 3rd and 7, and he's down by 6 points. Like that's a lot of decision making that the head coach of a team has to make on top of being the offensive play caller too. It's just, he said it, I think, to shut people up, but I don't think he actually means that.
Well, how long do you get to learn how to be a play caller?
I thought a year. Honestly, I thought it would be a whole lot better in the flow and decision-making of scenarios this year, and it hasn't shown it to be the case. Even in game 1, it didn't, Yeah. And then his dang if you do, dang if you don't moment he had this past Sunday, I thought was more telling. Like, don't call plays because you think this is what the fan base wants. Or don't be aggressive because you feel like you have to be to show everybody else that you're willing to do the most. Like, situationally, you go with the situation. Like, if you are using analytics, use the analytics and stand by those. Hey, in 3rd and 7 with 2 minutes left in the first quarter, we're supposed to, whatever the situation is, like, trust those things. I feel like too many times he's been reactionary with the way he's gone about stuff. I felt like this past weekend with the field goal versus punting versus trying to go for it situation. Like, the perception of the way this fan base sees him, I feel like he's trying to defeat that too. Now, he says he doesn't hear anything, and he probably doesn't. But I know this much, inside of that stadium, you feel it, he feels it, to try to make the right decisions. And, of course, you got these players who, to be quite honest with you, careers are based on the plays that he calls. Like Calvin Ridley right now is going to be a guy that's a 3 on a team moving forward if Coach Callahan can't figure out ways to get him open, even if he
can't figure out how to catch the football.
That's true, too. But the whole thing was scheming him open to allow him to make plays. Same goes for Chig, who's in a contract year, who's also dropping footballs. God, dog. So is it all Callahan when I'm talking about these drops like this?
I went back and watched the All-22 yesterday and went through the offensive snaps. It is like it's almost eerie how much the timing of everything just can't come together all at once, Ramon. There will be players open, and that's when the protection breaks down and Cam can't get to his second read. Then there will be a very lack of separation, and that's when Cam has a clean pocket, and then again, just has to run or has to check it down or has to try to force a ball or he throws it and it gets dropped.
Yeah.
I still do not believe that scheme is an issue. I think that guys are open. I think if you go back and watch the film of this game, even Ramon on the pick six that Cam threw on the third play of the game, he's got Tyler Lockett wide open for a first down.
Rookie.
But he doesn't have time with John Ojukwu being forklifted into the backfield, and that's just what happened. I'm not using the word
true.
I'm not using the word forklifted to say that he is. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. That's just the best way I can describe it. He got lifted up and pushed into Cam. Cam's got to get out of the pocket, and Cam's got to roll right because that was his outlet out of the pocket. Well, Tyler Lockett is open to the boundary on the far left side. Why? I mean wide open. I thought Tyler Lockett had a really sneaky good game in this as well. Also, when you look back at the film and see some of the, like, he is, and we're going to talk about this in hour two about younger guys and when you just go with the young dudes. Tyler Lockett is like sprinting off script to get open when the play breaks down. Like, he is putting in as much effort as you want to see from a veteran wide receiver. Tyler Lockett is going to give them some good moments this season. But man, it is just and again, the coach is accountable for it. Like, I'm not giving any excuses here. I'm just saying that one coach and one just quote unquote scheme. I think often, Ramon, when things don't look good, we just say, "Oh, well, the play calls stink," without actually knowing what stinks about them. Just that it's not working. There are a lot more issues than just the plays that are being called right now for the Tennessee Titans offense, and making a change in coach or play caller, all of these things, is not just going to be a quick fix for this offense. Brian Callahan was asked yesterday about considering giving up play calling, and he gave this answer about evaluating everything.
Yeah, I mean, everything's under evaluation right now at 0-3. Certainly, it's all a part of it. That's players in their roles. That's everything. I mean, we got to find a way to put ourselves in position to win a game. So we're evaluating everything.
Will you give over play calling?
There's nothing to add to it other than that. Yeah.
Have you ever been a part of a staff, Ramon, or a team that had any kind of collaborative effort to call plays, or has it always just been this one guy calls the plays?
It's been this one guy. Like Coach Munchak, when we became a little bit better, he would, heavily suggest running plays and stuff, like run game coordinator. He never had the title, but what we wanted to run is what he told Todd Haley that we needed to run in those type of situations. But it mostly came from the offensive coordinator, the play caller, more than anything. You don't usually see this type of split. You have guys that, hey, coach, here's what I've broken down throughout the course of the week. We're probably good at this, better at those. Don't run these types of plays. And that's just the scheming of what you are as a team more than anything. So to have it be passed off to somebody, I haven't had that situation. Even on the defensive side, I hadn't seen that come up. So this is unique. If he wasn't the head coach, I feel like you relieve him of his duties right now as a play caller. Like, he'd be done. Is the way I look at this situation. And that's what's so sticky about it for Coach Brian Callahan. I do think his decision-making and when he wants to call stuff is more of a detriment than the actual plays, to your point. If you can't move the line of scrimmage and they're beating you with 4 versus the rush, that's a personnel situation to me. And that, I think, is the bigger point. I want to reiterate is from what I've seen and the way these guys talk about Coach Brian Callahan, I personally do not think he's lost them.
I don't think so either.
And all of the losing.
I agree.
I don't think
I'm in that locker room every week. I'm on the field with that team, albeit it's been a couple weeks since I've been on the field, and I will be again this Sunday in Houston and for the next 3 Sundays in Arizona and in Vegas. He's not lost the locker room. He's not. They're just not a very good football team right now.
Yeah.
I mean, those two things can be independent of one another.
They can. JC being out, I think, is a whole lot different. JC doesn't get bull rushed into Cam Ward the way John Ojukwu did this past weekend.
Healthy JC doesn't.
Yeah, healthy JC doesn't. Dan Moore essentially was a little bit better.
85 PFF grade from Dan Moore on Sunday. Did still give up a sack, but an 85 PFF grade.
And I'm looking at this situation just saying to myself, like, you don't have the personnel, so what are you supposed to do about the personnel? If my groceries are spoiled, I don't care what I put in that oven, it's not going to taste good.
It's true.
I'm not trying to save his job, fans. I'm just trying to put this out there. There's the makeup of the team probably has a little bit longer to go. Now, his decision-making does not make this okay at all.
Scott on YouTube says, what about the slow developing runs that haven't worked or the screens? His scheme is more bad than good. I don't agree with that. I think the slow developing runs are RPOs, where Cam is, like, you're seeing that all across all levels of football. Now, it gives an extra burden of I've got to block a little bit longer. And yeah, it is slow developing, and in moments it doesn't look good. But you also have Cam sometimes not making the right decision on should I pull this or should I throw it or should I hand it off. That's the element of playing 11 on 11 in the run game that is just a part of it to me, Ramon.
It is. The completion to Chimere DK.
Which one?
On the screen where for negative.
-6.
Yeah. He absolutely got whooped.
Yeah.
He was also going up against a big linebacker also at that moment. Like, he couldn't shed him. And that guy, I was a smart player beating a rookie on the play. Like, Chimere DK technique on those plays, for anybody who don't understand screen game, is to fake block, and then lose. Chimere DK got pushed all the way back. Cam had pressure in his face, and by the time he got the ball out, it was a completion for -6 yards. That right there, again, was the attempt to get the ball out of Cam's hand, give it to a playmaker on the perimeter, and go make a play.
Right.
Again, the personnel, maybe you say to yourself, don't call that play to Chimere DK, but he's also been
the numbers game tells you to.
Yes.
When you see and there's another one too, and later in the game where DK is in the slot, Van Jefferson's on the outside, Cam takes a snap at a shotgun, the nickel blitzes, so then you've got 2-on-1 on the right side where DK is unmarked, as we would say in soccer, and Van Jefferson's blocking his one guy.
Yeah.
So the nickel crashes. All day you throw that to Chim DK. But then the inside linebacker, Cam doesn't see. He's the one that gets out late and runs with DK.
Yeah.
Van Jefferson can't block his guy, and it's immediately bottled up. I don't think the scheme is in the top 5 of the issues that are holding this offense back, personally. Do you?
No, the attempt to run good plays, no. I think it's there. It's a matter of legitimately personnel. Now I was going to say Legarius. Calvin can't catch a cold right now. And it's
bad, man.
30, 45 minutes before the game on the jugs machine on the sideline.
Yeah.
There's images of him attempting. Like, when you see guys like him doing that much extra to catch a football, he's lost. I'm going to just be completely honest with you. I don't know if we thought we got what we thought he was here in Nashville.
I saw this yesterday. Among 61 receivers with at least 15 targets, catch rate over expected, which takes all of your plays and tells you how many of these should you catch, -23% for Calvin Ridley. That is 3rd worst in the NFL for players who have been targeted at least 15 times. So, again, ultimately, the coaching staff is responsible for having the worst offense of the NFL. We're not making excuses for anybody, but I do think it's important to parse through why the Titans at this point have been outgained by nearly 500 yards in the first 3 games of the season. When you're that bad, Ramon, everything's on the table and everyone's held accountable for it. So no one's making excuses. No one is saying that Brian Callahan is going to be here forever. But it is what it is, that it's not just one thing for this team right now, right? But what is the biggest reason why you think this offense isn't working? Like, what is on your list of problems with the Tennessee Titans offense number 1 for you?
We talked about it all this offseason. And you looked at me sideways when I said this, but it was for a good reason. The quality of playmaker is low, period. I said I like the way the group is as a cluster. Meaning, I'm not sure if they're tier 2, tier 3 wide receiver skill group, tight ends included, but they're all about the same. Now, when you play a better defense that can lock your guys up, or defensive coordinator that can scheme against you or beat your guys up front, Titans wide receivers cannot get open unless they're long developing plays with a little RPO or redirection play action in it, or the quick screens that you've attempted to throw to them. Your guys can't hold up in those positions to where you can get the ball down the field or get it out and let guys go make plays. It either has to be a long redirection, fake run play, and Cam rolls out and catches somebody down the field, and teams will give up those 15-yarders. Then you get to the red zone, and your guys can't go win. Again, coaches have a say in who they want on their teams. But if your team has a second or third tier or 4th tier skill group, it doesn't make any sense at all to expect this group to win double-digit games this year. Vegas set the over-under 5.5. Like, that's where you are. Again, if you had who makes you fear them on Sundays for the Titans skill players? Let's just be all the way. I know.
The closest you have is Alec Iamana right now.
As a
the
rookie,
closest you have.
But if you are Pat Surtain,
yeah, he's going to start attracting number one corners and number two corners.
But you still, as a player, I'll put it as a player, he still has to prove to me that he's that good.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
This isn't a situation where you got Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase on the other side of the ball. Like, you don't fear them. Mike Evans isn't the case. Like, or nobody's ascended to the place that somebody I loved in the preseason or pre-draft, Ted McMillan. Like, who's making those?
He looks like a legit one in Carolina.
Alec is coming, though.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
But I can shut down one and tell everybody else, I'm not worried about y'all.
You make Calvin Ridley catch the football. That honestly, it's not the biggest problem. But a lot of problems do get solved if they just catch the ball. Did you think the pass to Chig up the seam Sunday, first half, 3rd and 11, if he hits Chig there over the middle on the go ball, he might score?
He's probably going to score.
Is that a Chig problem or a Cam problem? Throws like that right now.
A bit of both. I'm going to put it more on Chig because Chig, that player's coming to you, so speed and get to your spot. That ball is coming out hot. I first thing I said to the folks I was sitting was like, that ain't a Callahan problem right there. That's not a Cali problem. And
it was a check at the line, like the pre-snap operation is good.
Yeah.
To me, Cam has got to be put in a position, and this is why we talked about all offseason, Ramon. If Cam was put back there behind a line that wasn't ready to really keep him upright, it was going to look a little bit like Will Levis.
Mm-hmm.
So far, we're going to go through the stats, comparing the two a little bit, and have a tough conversation about that in an hour or two. There are similarities. Now, he's not turning the ball over as much. However, that's where your injury, lack of luck on the right side has crushed you. Because Cam is getting the ball out really hot or is bailing early in the pocket, and the second his first read isn't there, is starting to run. Cam, I don't think, trusts the protection around him when the bullets start flying. Now, obviously, he's going to say the right thing and tell you that, those guys are working hard and I am too, and Cam's a really good teammate. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a trust in them as players, but when push comes to shove, Ramon, that pocket, as it starts to collapse, you look at the film, he doesn't trust the timing of everything around him. And to be honest with you, I think the same could be said about receivers that keep dropping the football. You're going to double pump and think about it a little bit more when you see Calvin Ridley open right now than you normally would.
I must admit, like I said, I do think Cam's football comes out hot, but that's an adjustment you have to make. We heard the same thing about Michael Vick footballs, Brett Favre footballs the exact same way. There's numerous guys.
It's gunslinger.
That have heat on the balls coming out, and it's on them to catch it. Chig was unbalanced in that moment, too.
Brian Callahan was asked about the in-game management process as well, the end of the first half, the delay of game taken out of 2 penalties, and the head coach had this to say.
Yeah, I mean, those conversations, just as of before, I'll keep those in-house. Those are proprietary information at the end of the day for us, but there's people involved in it. We got a process that I believe in has been good for us over the course of my time here, and the decision is what it was, and I addressed it after the game. But there's a lot of people that work on that stuff.
What were the analytics kind of saying on that front? What did your team's particular analytics tell you at that point?
Again, I'm not going to go too far into detail on all this stuff, but we made a decision that we made, and it's my decision to make. And had we kicked the field goal and it's good, it's all these conversations go away. So that is what it is.
You and your decision making have been a big story. 2 out of 3 games coming into this season. How bad is that for you? That they're not talking about your players. You're addressing things that you decided.
Yeah, I never want any of it to ever be, about me. It's not how I want it to be. It's not how it should be. I don't want it to be about good or bad. It's always supposed to be about our players and what they're doing and what they're doing well and what we got to be better at. But yeah, the conversation about me is not one that I want to continue. It's just the reality of where we're at, being 0-3, and every single thing gets magnified, and some things haven't worked out for us in those spots, and they're opened up to criticism, and that's the way it goes in the NFL. And I certainly don't want it to ever be about me.
It's Titans head coach Brian Callahan speaking with the media yesterday.
That's tough. He ate it as much as he possibly could, but the other part I got from it, whoever it seems to be, he's mentioned everybody else being involved in it. Whoever is in his ear owe him big time. He's falling on this grenade more than I think he probably should. Now, as the head coach, he also got to tell them people shut the bleep up and let me do my job.
He's
too.
responsible for who's in his ear. If who's in his ear keeps messing up.
Yeah.
He's the one that's held accountable for all this.
It's that part, too.
It is very much, there's an old saying in Tennessee. I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee. Fool me once, shame on
you.
Shame on you. You fool me, can't get fooled again. 615-737-1045, our number. Why are the Texans 0-3? We'll tell you next. Ramona Will, 104.5. The Zone is fueled by Scooter's Coffee. It's well done, Justin. Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, Mount Juliet. Your morning could be well done with a Scooter's Coffee cinnamon roll in your life. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. There's an old saying in Texas that also goes, the Texans are 0-3. Ramon Foster.
Yeah, it is.
This from Teron Davenport yesterday. Texans are a 7-point favorite over the Tennessee Titans on Sunday. A winless team was a 7-point favorite in week 4 or later twice in the Super Bowl era. The last team to be a touchdown or more favorite as a winless team was actually the Titans as the Houston Oilers. Because again, Texans fans, we have to remind you this week, that's not your history, that's ours. Bengals at Oilers, week 4, 1994. The Oilers were 8.5-point favorites. They won by 7. In 1996, the New Orleans Saints were a 7.5-point favorite, winless in week 4 against the Arizona Cardinals, who won by 14 on that day. Third time in NFL history that a team is 0-3 and is a touchdown or greater favorite against another team in week 4 or later.
Oh, my gosh, Will.
Why are they winless, Ramon? What's the biggest reason why you think they are 0-3?
Seem like they're one-dimensional and relying solely upon what C.J. Stroud can do. They cannot figure out what they're going to be as a rushing team. C.J. Stroud is also in a position where he's scrambling because the offensive line is getting pushed back. But here's the thing about it. They are, if this is a term that we can use, competitively losing. Their games that they've lost have been within one score.
All 3 of them.
All 3 of them. 14-9 to the Rams, 20-19 to the Buccaneers. And this past weekend was their biggest scoring gap, 17-10 against the Jags. They can't seem to find the rhythm offensively more than any. The defense, that's why I think the Titans are probably, 7-point underdog in this game, though?
7 points, yeah.
It's because they can smother you. Like, I don't know if you want to be in a position seeing that defense at home with as loud of an echo that NRG Stadium. Is it still NRG? It's still NRG. NRG Stadium is having right now. It could be chaotic, man, even with your starters inside of that building.
Well, the defense, you're right, is tremendous, and it is a little bit more like Denver in week 1 in terms of how they will challenge you because they are good at all 4 spots. I mean, Sheldon Rankins being the longtime run stopper, Daniil Hunter being kind of a bigger edge rusher off the edge that can set the edge but also get around it quickly, and then Will Anderson Jr., who has 3 sacks in 3 games. On offense, though, they are bad.
Yeah.
Last in scoring offense in the NFL, 29th in total offense, 43 first downs, which is last in the league, 2 passing touchdowns, which is 30th in the NFL. They have run it only 65 times, which is 29th in the league because Joe Mixon hasn't been healthy. Nick Chubb has been fine. From a yards per attempt standpoint, they're average. But C.J. Stroud has not thrown for 250 yards in a game since week 11 of last year. And up front of the offensive line, they got whipped by Jacksonville on Sunday. Jacksonville had lost 12 of their last 14 against Houston. In this game, 3 fourth-quarter turnovers, 2 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, 4 tackles for loss.
God, dog.
I mean, there was a 50-yard gain for Nico Collins in this game that he fumbled in the red zone.
Love that.
Then C.J. Stroud throws a pick right at the very end. It is a comedy of errors right now for Houston, who has a 3-game gap back from Indy at the top of the AFC South now as well.
Yeah.
Indy's 3-0, they're 0-3. That's significant at this point, and Jacksonville has won a couple games themselves. 2-1.
And again, the thing that's bad for the Titans is everybody else has seen a little bit more competitive, albeit Houston. I mean, who's a favorite this upcoming weekend?
They're going to view this
also
as a get-right.
Don't say
Houston
that.
is.
Don't say that.
I mean, they are.
Yeah. I know, but like, they are, to your point, having struggles at the quarterback, figuring out the offensive coordinator also. Again, they have no flow the same way the Titans at this point don't. But here's the other part. You fear what their skill players are. Like a Nico Collins being a part of this thing is tremendous for them because they know he can actually go get it. Right. Who's going to stop him this upcoming weekend? And the other issue is, too, Ariante Ursay is another left tackle that has issues, too.
Rookie tackle out of Minnesota.
That's where you can go get the Houston Texans this weekend. It's the same way they're going to try to attack you. CJ rolling out, I don't think is his thing. I don't think he's as accurate when he's rolling, throwing the ball on the run like that. And again, I think he gets frantic and no quarterback wants to get hit, but CJ looks as if it's like oil and vinegar. He wants nothing to do with it.
This is the risk you take when you don't have continuity for your young quarterback and you get the next higher and offensive line moves wrong.
Don't say that, Will.
Scott on YouTube says Stroud crowned himself after his rookie year. He deserves this. Joe says CJ Stroud fooled the whole world in 2023. Okay, well, don't let your quarterback turn into that. And I'm not saying that changing coaches is always a bad thing. Sometimes you upgrade. Nick Caley is going to be given the season to try to fix that offense as the offensive coordinator. There are a lot of changes on the offensive line. You have to make sure that there is some sort of stability around your young quarterback. Without Tank Dell, that is where C.J. Stroud does not look like himself anymore. Because Tank Dell, I think, was a lot of his safety blanket. They have the two rookies, and Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel from Iowa State, and obviously Nico Collins is a top 10 receiver in the league. But C.J. Stroud is a cautionary tale. If you're going to make changes, you better be sure they are upgrades and not downgrades. You better be positive that you are changing the right variables to spark success and not mediocrity. Because right now, C.J. Stroud is really mediocre. Really mediocre.
That's what we talked about.
Yep. And again, I'm not saying that means you always have job security everywhere. Like, again, sometimes change is necessary. And we'll see what the Titans end up doing this season as things progress and as, we get more info and we watch more games. But you better be sure you're making the right changes and upgrades.
I got Scott on YouTube said, yeah, but D'Amico Ryans is a better coach than Callahan. He's still 0-3. The point that we're making is this, like, you can make these changes and still be mediocre on one side of the ball. Like, and it's to Will's point directly. C.J. Stroud has not taken the right steps last year or this year with his new offensive coordinator that he handpicked.
Steven on Twitter says, we can't downgrade with play calling. Yeah, you can. Why can't you?
I mean, Houston essentially has.
You can always downgrade.
Yeah.
I think it's just... I'm not breaking any news by saying you better make sure you make the right changes. But again, that's where we're at this point. You can't just make changes just for the sake of making changes in this league and expect quarterback play to always ascend. Because things can always get worse. Always get worse.
Always.
615-737-1045. We'll start with Mario on the phones when we come back. Plus, why Brian Callahan thinks the Titans are getting better on offense every week. Coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Nobody wants to deal with a plumbing, HVAC, or an electrical emergency at all, man. Most of the time, you don't know what it's going to cost you if it'll get fixed right, or if somebody's just trying to sell you something you do not need, man. When you call Hiller or reach out to them in any way possible, man, their experts are going to solve your problems quickly. Whether you have a plumbing, heating and cooling, or just an electrical issue, man, they will get it right. And the price you're told is the price that you'll actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises when you get your bill. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years and are family-owned and operated. Their techs are very professional, experienced, and trustworthy, and they're all background and drug screened. And when they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time. So no more waiting around, wasting time for somebody to show up. The motto is, happy you'll be, or the service is free. To book with Hiller like I do, or to simply learn more about them, visit happyhiller.com.
7:02, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans are off today, but will return back to practice tomorrow. Yesterday, head coach Brian Callahan met with the media and talked about what he can do to not lose the locker room despite starting the season 0-3.
We got to play better on Sundays. We have to coach better on Sundays. That's the end-all message for me. You know, winning solves all that stuff always, whether they point fingers or don't point fingers. That's all we have is what we have in the locker room, and all I care about is those guys and how well we can rally our troops and go down to Houston and try to get ourselves a win.
In other NFL news, Week 3 concluded last night on Monday Night Football with the Detroit Lions taking down the Baltimore Ravens 38-30 in Baltimore. Lions star running back duo of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs each rushed for 2 touchdowns on the night. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson finished completing 21 of 27 passes for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. Running back Derrick Henry rushed 12 times for 50 yards, a touchdown, and his 3rd fumble of the season in as many games. Some injury news in the NFL over the weekend. Los Angeles Chargers running back Najee Harris suffered a torn Achilles Sunday. Head coach Jim Harbaugh confirmed Harris will miss the remainder of the 2025 season. And San Francisco 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan confirmed that star edge rusher Nick Bosa suffered a torn ACL in Sunday's win over the Arizona Cardinals, and he will also miss the remainder of this season. And big news in college basketball yesterday as Auburn head coach Bruce Pearl has announced his retirement after nearly 50 years of coaching college basketball. His son, Stephen Pearl, has signed a 5-year contract to take over for Auburn. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you've got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooters Coffee into hour number 2 on this Tuesday, 615-737-1045, the number. Scooters Coffee is locally owned in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or about Joy, and it's the best way to wake up and start your Tuesday morning. Ramon Foster back in studio, Will Bowling, Justin Hawkins, VolQuest Sauce and Price coming up at 8:20. Lots more college football discussion upcoming, but there was plenty to get to yesterday from Brian Callahan's press conference and from a lot of you who still want to react, who were not able to get it on the phone lines because we were so loaded yesterday. Ramon, I've not seen our phones that loaded.
Yeah.
Probably since the day Rand Carthon was fired.
Straight up. It was
to be quite honest with you.
Light up Nashville is what it was, man.
Hot.
Christmas trees.
Yeah, because you were in Knoxville. You couldn't see the phone.
I can see you.
I've not seen it like that in a long time.
It seems like it's somewhat calmed down now. I'm not sure if it is.
Yeah, it has, for sure.
7 o'clock crew is here now. So what do you do? The biggest point I think we made in this first hour is the one you did. Like, you got to be careful. Like, Cam has been the football messiah to a lot of people here when you speak about what they think he can do, what he's going to be, what he did in his previous career in college. Every school that he went to, he made better. He made plays. But I will also add to that his style of football has to be cleaned up a little bit more. He's got to get somebody to keep him within the navigational beacons. I will say that in between the lines. I do think there's a world for him to be able to make those types of plays. But the other side of it is, too, even at Washington State, he had a staff and a coordinator that he trusted and he loved. He goes to Miami, does the exact same thing. I think we're watching Miami now create, a college football dynasty.
But now they have a defense that wouldn't have totally wasted him last year, too.
Is that part. But even
because he probably wins the Heisman if they just have some semblance of a defense and they're a playoff team.
So we say all that to say this too: the Jimmys and Joes that he's playing with matters.
Yeah,
like
of course.
we're watching. I'm listening to the broadcast a little bit last night, and they're speaking about the cast of characters that Baltimore has brought in to help make Lamar better. You say to Isaiah Likely, the players that they've attempted to bring in free agency also, they made wide receivers cool to come to Baltimore also.
Like DeAndre Hopkins.
I mean, seriously. And then you look at what the Buffalo Bills have done for Josh Allen, and they've let some players go. They got his offensive line right. They got his defense together. They continue to go get skilled players for him, running backs for him too. Like, as great as any player is, like, as the way I think of Ben Roethlisberger is one of the best quarterbacks I've ever played for. You know what he was doing every single year to our GM? I need more help. Give me another wide receiver. give me a running back, give me a tight end. Because he know in the franchise quarterbacks that play and really good in this league, they're only as good as their cast around them too. That is something I think does need to be pointed out with all the hate that the Titans and Brian Callahan is getting. I'll say pull the curtain back. I know you've missed on draft classes, and that matters more than almost anything free agency can do for you. But how strategic are you on trying to get the right bodies in the building too? That is another part of this story that needs to be told out loud. Chad, Borgonzi, Rand, John Robinson. Those four play a huge part in this too.
615-737-1045. Mario is in Memphis this morning. What's up, Mario?
Morning, Mario.
Fellas, it's been a long time.
Welcome.
I agree with you, man. You got 3 general managers in the last 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And some of them made some terrible decisions. They got the team in the kind of the state that they're in right now. But Titan fans got to look at it and think about it. I watch the game every Sunday. You know, I watch the game Sunday. It's kind of hard to watch. Sometimes Callahan don't look like he don't know what he's doing. And it kind of reminds you a lot of Ken Whisenhunt years. The way, you know, the play calling, them every first down we running the ball, like teams already know what we're gonna do. You know, and you gotta be patient with Cam. You know, but Cam gotta, you know, like you said, they gotta clean up a lot of things that Cam do. You know, he's a rookie, so he learning as he go, but you know, man, I just don't think the head coach, if he start off 0-6, Ramon.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's gonna survive, man. I'm just being honest with you because they weren't expecting to start off 0-6, the money they done spent in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, where is Kevin Ridley hands, man? Did he leave him in Atlanta or Jacksonville? Where's his hand?
Yeah.
Now I'm done.
Thank you, Mario.
Yeah, I feel you.
Appreciate the call. And to that point, like, this is why every time people would ask us, how many wins does Brian Callahan need for safety and security? I wasn't willing to answer it because not all 0-3s or 0-6s are created equally. If this team was scoring closer to 30 to 40 points consistently and you felt like it was just a defense problem because you say can't get after the quarterback, which is also a major concern moving forward, we're having a different conversation. But, Ramon, it's the way they've gotten to 0-3, isn't it?
It is.
It's the indecision on 4th and 1 out of 2 timeouts of if you're going to kick or go. It's the Elikai Manor elbow in, elbow out, what's the rule thing in Denver.
Yep.
It's the level of operation for an offense that now has had their quarterback sacked 15 times, which, by the way, is the same amount as Will Levis this time last year.
Stop.
He'd also been sacked 15 times through 3 games.
Stop, Will.
He is testing Brian Callahan the idea coming into the season of, hey, we need continuity and we just need to see some semblance of results and some semblance of growth. And we'll keep this process going. We'll keep these people in-house. Brian Callahan did say yesterday he feels like the offense is improving. When asked about the steps they've taken, he answered with this.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've steadily every week performed better offensively. I think our young players continue to step up and make plays. I've been really pleased with what Alex done. Chim has been phenomenal in all the things that we've asked him to do as a returner, in the run game as a receiver, and the touch game as a receiver. Really pleased with those guys. And then I think Cam gets better every time he steps out there. And there's been a progression, and that's what you're looking for from young players, is those guys continue to improve. That part I'm excited about. There's been some good things offensively. We just need more of it over the course of a game. But those guys are doing some really good things. I think Tony Pollard's playing his tail off. He's given us everything he's got. And those are, I mean, there's definitely things that we're doing well. And I thought against a really good rush team over the course of the early part of the game, we were good on defense. I mean, they had some issues early on, and then, you know, as it got later, we missed some tackles and gave them some extra yards that you'd like to not see. But there's still plenty of good things on our football team, and again, the losing games is what magnifies the negative things, and it's hard to get excited about things. But I really don't think we're far away as a football team from winning games, and that's the belief you have to have, and that's the belief that I have and our players have. And when you get into these moments, that's what you have to fall back on. Whether or not anybody else believes it is really irrelevant, because they're not in there every day and they're not the ones in the locker room. And you have to be able to believe in what you have in order to climb out of the hole on top of it. So there's things that are close, and I think that we're closer than maybe it seems, but that's usually how it happens before you turn, and then we got to find a way to turn it.
Ramon, do you agree that the Titans are not far away from success on offense?
If a Chig catches that seam, got something. If Cam just simply gets rid of the ball and the Titans punt on the first 3 down, that's better than a pick 6. There are moments there. Like I said, the tape tells different stories.
It does.
Over and over again.
It does.
And again, that's the separator of what we see versus what they want to execute inside that building, too.
Well, and as good as everyone is in the NFL, that is just the difference, though, between being good and bad in this league. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone in this league can get guys open. 32 coaches, 32 play callers. When you turn on the film, what do you always say? It's never as bad as you think when you lose. It's never as good as you think when you win. But that's what bad teams are in the NFL. Bad teams will have moments that they don't capitalize on.
Yes.
So while, yes, they're not that far away, the score and the yardage margin says differently that they've been outgained by 400 yards in 3 games this year.
Yeah.
In a league that is built for moving the football and for keeping those margins close. While, yes, the film shows that you've got guys open and you've got a couple shot plays that you're just a tick away from hitting, I'm still going to have to believe it when I see it.
I know. Somebody, I laughed when you were talking, and not because of you or in our chat. It was like, yeah, we're not far away. We're just 12 to 15 players away on the roster. And I was just like, yeah, but that don't excuse Callahan for a lot of people. Like, nobody cares about your problems or either glad you got them.
Well, because of the game management, right?
Yeah.
We talked about this over the offseason, that Brian Callahan and his coaching staff was not expected to make a playoff run or to be immediately contending with this group of players. Yeah. Let's just be honest. Mm-hmm. They knew it. We knew it. We set those expectations, but there were things under Brian Callahan's control that could prove that he was improving as a head coach and that the operation of this coaching staff was the right one to be successful. And unfortunately, those controllables, Ramon, have not been controlled well enough to prove success. Indecision on 4th down. Not challenging a play when your elbow's clearly in and getting that right in Denver. I mean, I hate to beat a dead horse on that, no pun intended. But
I think that one will be okay if he didn't have this moment this past Sunday.
Right, because that's what we said in the moment.
Yeah.
Like, this was week 1. Let's see if he learns from it.
Yeah.
Let's see if the coaching staff makes the proper changes and the guy in the headset, either the voice changes or the guy just gets it right. Next time, was this a one-off or is this a trend? Unfortunately, Ramon, the game management issues appear to be a trend.
Seem to be a trend. No doubt about it. Again,
it's up to them to change it.
It is. And there are how many games left? 14 games left to see if there's going to be a change. That's the only silver lining. As we get more and more calls, I don't think it's going to die down.
No, of course not. I mean, nor should it.
No, it shouldn't. And y'all should definitely voice your opinions, too.
We'll go back to the phones when we come back, 615-737-1045. Plus, I've been seeing a take circulating on social media. I've been seeing an opinion that the Titans and their fans need to apologize to Will Levis. We'll talk about that next. Ramona Willow 1045. The zone is fueled by Scooter's Coffee. What is this? What just happened?
What?
Jump scare.
We got high. That's what it was.
What is- This is Pitbull and Zach Brown Band?
You never know what you'll find these days.
What is that? What is that? Tennessee and Miami together?
I don't know. With all due respect, I think we should take all the music that says 3HL at the beginning of it that we're playing and just skip to other shows' music. Anyway. Great segue. Should the Titans apologize to Will Levis? Ramon. A lot of things were pinned on Will Levis last season. And I wanted to compare the first 3 games last season and this season.
Do it.
Between Will Levis and Cam Ward. We are digging Will Levis conversation out from 6 feet under.
Because we moved on.
We gave a moratorium in training camp. I just got my shovel. I actually put it behind me. It's underneath the desk here. We are digging up the Levis conversation just for a minute because I wanted to respond to a take I saw the other day on Twitter. So Will Levis, through 3 games last season, completed 64 of his 94 pass attempts for 579 yards, 68% completion, 4 touchdowns, 5 picks, 6.2 yards per attempt, 76.5 QB rating, 15 sacks taken, 3 fumbles. All lost. Will Levis already had 8 turnovers this time last year. Cam Ward has gone 54 of 99. 10 less completions on 5 more attempts. 506 yards. He's completed 54.5% of his passes, which is 13% lower or 12% lower. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick 6 to Kenny Moore on Sunday. 5.1 yards per attempt, 71.4 QB rating. Also taken 15 sacks. He has fumbled once. Ramon, do the Titans and their fans owe Will Levis an apology now that this version of the offense, without Levis to blame, isn't creating even that level of production?
A little bit, yeah. Because if you'd have told me that Will Levis had a better completion percentage than Cam Ward, I'd have said you a lie. If you'd have told me that Will Levis had more touchdowns than Cam Ward right now, I'd say you a lie. If you told me he had a higher rating than Cam Ward, I'd have called you a liar. I said there's no way that's completely true at all. To apologize to him, I don't think he'll ever get that one. But to say that one didn't elevate the other, I think it's true. It may not be a quarterback issue. It might be a team issue when looking at this situation. I don't know how successful Will Levis would be here with a better team, or what Will Levis would look if he went somewhere like Minnesota, right? Or anywhere else but Nashville. But clearly there seems to be a problem with trying to get the best out of quarterbacks here in Nashville, and it may just be inside the building. I'd say you probably just open the door and be like, man, if you want to come back home, you can come back home. It's like having a bad argument with your spouse or something. Like, I'm going to leave the door open for you if you want to come back home. I do think Will Levis probably deserves a little bit of that.
I don't think it's a one-to-one comparison because I do think Cam Ward has been let down by his receivers and Will Levis let his receivers down. Because Will Levis was giving the ball to the other team 8 times in the first 3 games, whereas Cam Ward has thrown the ball to his receivers and they've just dropped it. Where Will Levis was not finding Calvin Ridley and not giving him a chance to catch the ball, Calvin Ridley is not giving Cam Ward a chance to complete passes because he's not catching it when it's thrown to him. I also think, Ramon, the level of opponent matters within all of this. Last season, Will Levis of the Titans played in the first 3 weeks, Caleb Williams in his debut, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, and Malik Willis and the Packers. The Titans in 2025 have played the Denver Broncos in Denver. I know they're 1-2, but I think that's a really good defense.
Very much.
The LA Rams, who I think are probably the 2nd or 3rd best team in the NFC. Take your pick between Packers, Eagles, and Rams in the NFC right now. And a very, very good defensive front. And then the Indianapolis Colts, who are much better than our expectations, who are 3-0 at this point. where Will Levis lost games because he was throwing the ball to the other team against a backup quarterback, a rookie who had no clue what he's doing, and geriatric Aaron Rodgers. Cam Ward has had much bigger challenges in the first 3 games. I don't think, to the point that people keep making, Terry McCormick put it out the other day and said, Will Levis, you are owed an apology. The struggles of the Titans are much, much deeper than anyone could have imagined. We knew that. Nobody ever said that Will Levis was the only problem with the Tennessee Titans last year. Will Levis undid a lot of the good, though, that you still had on this team because he threw the football and shovel passed it to the opponent.
Was Cam almost?
No, Cam shovel passed it to a guy who was wide open.
That's true. Same situation, like as far as wanting to make that type of play and prevent it from being a sack or negative play, like the shovel pass as you're going down did happen.
Also, the fact that we are comparing year 2 Will Levis to a guy who has now played 3 football games in his professional life is an indictment on Will Levis. Because that was not rookie season for Will Levis last year.
That's very true.
Will Levis was given a $10 million a year running back, a $20 million a year wide receiver. He still had DeAndre Hopkins, mind you, by the way, too, Ramon, in those first 2 games. Cam Ward's been thrown out there with Calvin Ridley, who is struggling, and a couple of rookies, a couple of guys who are 3s or 4s at this point in their careers, and said, this is a rebuild, but let's see what you got, kid, in the meantime. Good luck.
Yeah.
Against 2 really good defenses and the Colts, who are a solid football team. I think it is way too premature to say that Will Levis is owed any kind of apology. Will Levis's play last year is the reason why you were able to draft Cam Ward.
That's very true, too. I know we got callers, but let me say this, though, about the situation more than anything on the apology side of it. I think the conversation on having this apology is based upon what you're presenting with as a franchise and as an offense and as a play caller, too. Yes, Will Levis was not a rookie last year, but I'd also say this. For the way Cam has performed or been allowed to be set up in this situation, Coach Callahan's supposed to be a better play caller this year than he was with Will Levis. I would look at Will Levis' situation and say, and by the way, I'm not a Will Levis supporter when it comes down to his play. I didn't think a whole lot of him. I just looked at what I thought his potential could be here as a quarterback. I'm looking at what's presented to these guys when it comes down to how they're set up. I feel like with both of them, either because of the play calling, either because of the personnel. I look at specifically Jalen Hurts' situation. I look at specifically what Geno Smith's situation is. If you surround them with a better outfit, more stability as players, you get a better version of them. I look at Baker Mayfield, and I'm looking at just the institution or the organization of what the Tennessee Titans are. And I do think there's an avenue to say to yourself, Will Levis deserved a little bit better in his professional career. I look at Desmond Ritter's situation in Atlanta. Was not set up to be successful at all. At all. And you say to yourself, you as a coach, you as an organization are supposed to put the players out there to make plays for you, but there is a component that you allow them to be better. Or how have you built up a roster? I know JC is out, but we knew right tackle or the depth of the offensive line was going to be an issue. And I know you probably don't plan on JC Latham being out, but having a defender, to your point, forklift your right tackle up for a sack or for pressure for a pick six, that's not helping you. The point, I think, of that messaging or the conversation on social media was this. Franchise hadn't set up either Will Levis or Cam Ward to be successful. Now, an apology, that's on the fans. I'm not the biggest Will Levis supporter when it comes down to this at all. But I do look and say that sucks. For a guy that has what you think were the intangibles of being a really good quarterback, and sometimes guys just flame out, right? I'll say this again. Cam is in a very similar situation as Will Levis was too. Very much so. And I don't think that if there is a line, that's a hair-thin line on how close the similarities are from last year to this year.
There's only so much turnover you can have in 1 year to say that, yeah, you're right. The supporting casts are similar. Without DeAndre Hopkins, though, I mean, Will Levis's inability to find Hopkins last year is a big reason why Hopkins was traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. Mm-hmm. I mean, statistically, yes, Levis's numbers look better if you take out the turnovers. But the turnovers were the issue.
They were the biggest issue.
We didn't get a chance to fully evaluate Brian Callahan because Will Levis kept giving the ball to the other team. Now we are getting that chance, and things don't look better. So now we have a different conversation. But no, Will Levis wasn't the only reason why the Titans had the number 1 overall pick last year. He's not the only reason why the offense couldn't move the football, but he should have taken more advantage of the opponents he had in weeks 1 through 3.
That's true, too.
And Cam Ward has had much bigger challenges in weeks 1 through 3. So for you, Ramon, what is the biggest culprit in this offense not playing well? If we're talking about, hey, is Levis owed the apology? Are these Cam issues? Are these Callahan issues? Are these offensive line issues? Is it who he's throwing to? What is wrong with this scheme, and who is the culprit that needs to be held most accountable at this point?
Most accountable? This year, I think, is the offensive line. Last year, I just think it was decision-making by the offensive coordinator calling the plays and Will Levis. Those are my two culprits. This year, I did not expect the offensive line to not be this strong of a unit. Collectively, I'll say. You can't run the football the way you want to, and you can't protect them either. This year, it's the offensive line for me. It's what we say. It's but I also want to blame the skill guys, Will. Being the pre-snap penalties, that goes to the head coach. There's a long checklist of this, and that's what sucks about it. So that's why I say, more than anything, organizationally, it's the problem. You got the number 1 overall pick. And I know they don't mean much because there's been a lot of them dudes fizzle out in the NFL. It just happens like that from time to time. I didn't think this team was ready for Cam. You didn't either. I'm looking at the assets that you can obtain. That meant more to me, which is why, again, I point to the setup of what this team is right now. You don't have name brands. I love Walmart, but you got great value at a lot of positions right now. You're shopping at Save-A-Lot, Piggly Wiggly. That's what's happening. I've seen really good players get ruined. That's all I'm getting at when we had the pre-draft conversation.
The reason why Will Levis is not owed an apology is because a lot of the mistakes Cam Ward is making are rookie quarterback mistakes, not Brian Callahan-led mistakes. The scheme, to me, is not letting Cam Ward down as much as it is the other elements of protection, of wide receiver separation, and of, hey, this is a lot different than college. Somebody asked me to compare Will Levis's first 3 career starts to Cam Ward's. Okay, fair enough. Will Levis completed 60 of 107. Again, Cam 54 of 99. Cam Ward, 506 yards. Levis had 699 yards through his first 3 starts. Again, that's inflated a little bit by how good he was in his debut against the Atlanta Falcons. 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, 10 sacks taken. Will Levis's first 3 games as a quarterback in the National Football League. So that's the comparison. Were people that were Tennessee fans in this area too quick to blame Levis for everything last year? Yeah, probably.
He caused a good bit of it, though. The flip 6.
But I think a lot of the criticism of Levis last year is fair. And Ramon, just to be totally blunt and honest, you're less likely to get an apology when you get surgery on the first day of training camp.
Oh, no doubt. No, he made a business decision.
Yeah.
100%.
If he wanted sympathy from the fans,
okay,
the way he went about it is not the way to get it.
So now here's the other part of that too. If you knew we were in a rebuild, now I heard Blaine, the Titan alum, first era Tennessee Titans, say this. If that's the case and you want to blame Will Levis for that, as far as he could have been a trade asset this year, if you knew you were moving on from Derrick Henry, why didn't you trade him away sooner to
Levis?
Get something? No, Derrick Henry.
Derrick, we had that conversation as
now that's
that season ended.
That's a first era Tennessee
Tennessee Titan. I was on the board saying do it.
I do know.
Yeah, right.
So, again, organizationally, some steps were mismanaged to get to this point.
It's not as simple as just the quarterback, just the coach, just the line. No matter how you spin it, no matter which angle you look at it from, the Titans offense has systemic issues that are going to have to be fixed over time with better players and more decisive play calling that puts those players in the best position to be successful. They're not getting any kind of success or competence from a lot of different ways that you look at this right now. So, no, I don't think it's as simple as, I guess Levis wasn't the problem after all. All Callahan. No, we got to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. and say that although some of the problems look similar under a new quarterback this year, that does not mean that the control variable of Levis last year was good enough for this team to be successful. Levis got to play Malik Willis, old Aaron Rodgers, and Caleb Williams in his first 3 games. Cam Ward has had to go up against Denver and Sean Payton on the road, the Rams, who are healthy right now, while they still are healthy, and the Colts, who are good.
I'm glad you brought up Malik. Malik immediately within a year goes to Green Bay with a better setup and support system. Comes here on the home turf of the Tennessee Titans and win. And look like a totally different quarterback.
He had a supporting cast, had a line, had receivers to throw to. He had an organization that put him in a plug-and-play position to be successful. Yep. It is going to take time for you to build that kind of supporting cast for Cam Ward. Cam has shown me enough flashes and high-level things that Levis never did. Mm-hmm. And I've talked with people around the team about this, Ramon. Cam is already doing things that you can't teach, that they were trying to teach Levis that he couldn't get his mind wrapped around. There are signs for success in quarterbacks that you either have or you don't, that Cam has and Levis doesn't. The number one thing Cam Ward does, Ramon, he throws with anticipation. Cam Ward is throwing guys open. It's not all perfect. He's missing checkdowns. He's missing open receivers. He's throwing it too hot at times. He is far from a finished product. But what rookie quarterback ever is a finished product when they walk into a situation like this one?
So real.
I would be cautious on saying that we owe Levis a very big apology at this point.
Okay, what if Cam's career goes in the same pathway as Levis?
Well, then we'll have a different conversation, but that would shock me. That would shock me.
I'm not denying Cam at all on what he's capable of. But if I'm driving around on 3 tires and I got a twin turbo that I'm pushing, I'm not going to go that fast. I need the support of that 4th tire is what I'm getting at. I can't be me if I don't have the tune-up and the setup that I absolutely need.
615-737-1045. We will get to your phone calls and thoughts on this coming up next. Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, it's Will Boulding. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases, and here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Just imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone. Wrapping up hour number 2. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling to the phones. Totally loaded. Y'all want to talk Titans, so we will let you do that. 615-737-1045. Michael is in Clarksville up first.
What's going on, fellas?
Morning.
There are so many things to talk about with this team, but the two that I want to talk about are the offensive line and the coach. If I've done my research correctly, the Tennessee Titans have the second smallest offensive line in the league. Now, all the major teams that have really good offenses, like Detroit, the Rams, Baltimore, and Green Bay, all have like the biggest offensive lines in the league. So that's one thing I think we definitely need to work on, because all we're going to do anytime we face a team that's good is just get ran over. And two, on the coach. There's one thing that the coach did against the Rams that makes me think that he is not going to be a winning coach for us. And if you guys remember, Cam Ward went down and he threw that touchdown. We kicked the ball off. Our defense gets a interception, and we get the ball back right before halftime. He didn't one time attempt any play into the end zone. It was almost like he had already had it predetermined that I'm just going to go ahead and settle for these 3 points, and we're going to go into halftime, when you had all the momentum on your side at that point. I just don't think he's got the killer instinct. And if you don't have the killer instinct to go in and put as many points up in that game as you possibly can, then you're not going to be a winning franchise.
Sure. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate the call. I didn't have as big of an issue with the Rams sequence as I did the one on Sunday against the Colts, when at the 2-minute warning they ran it 3 times in a row. Because they were starting to get the ball out quick and starting to develop some kind of rhythm I felt like they could have hit on. Ramon, killer instinct also comes with having a line that you know can protect your quarterback to go deep. And I think Callahan was thinking about what happened in Denver when they were on the fringe of the red zone, and then Cam took a 16-yard sack.
That part.
Knocked him out of field goal range, so they got no points. He wanted to take a lead into halftime.
That part.
So I don't think that's totally on Callahan. That situation specifically. I thought Sundays was a little more egregious because they were down. And at that point, you got to start taking some risks.
Also, those teams that you named, too, a guy from Mike from Clarksville, too, they're run first. That was the Callahan thing, too. You wanted to get away from run, pass, right? Like, the new age Tennessee Titans offense.
I don't think the Titans have the smallest offensive line in the league. J.C. Latham is a big old dude.
Yeah.
Blake Cushenberry is a big center.
Dan's like 315, if I'm not mistaken. More.
I don't think those numbers are correct.
Those bigger ones you're speaking of, Philly, think about who their running back is. They're trying to beat you
Different
down.
kind of offense.
Yeah.
You don't think the size of the Titans linemen is an issue?
I don't think it's a problem.
No, I don't think so.
Lloyd Cushenberry is one of the bigger centers in the league.
Chuck is in Clarksville up next. Hey, Chuck.
Chuck, I know you ain't wait that long just not to say anything.
Oh, there we go. I think we got you now, Chuck.
No. Hey,
we can hear you now.
There you go, Chuck. Come on. There we go.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. Hey, there's something I think we're missing here. Granted, I'll give you all the issues directly on the field with the sideline coaching and everything else. But who's responsible for those? It's the front office. Okay, the front office down from Amy on down are responsible for hiring Callahan, for making a lot of these personnel decisions where it's not being effective for the team. And it's been that way for the past several years. Okay, if something doesn't happen to where we start discussing this with the front office and what we need to do to improve and be willing to go out there and grab the people that we need specifically to handle our staff and everything, then we're not going to go anywhere. It's going to remain mediocrity from now on. And I don't think the fans are going to accept that. You're going to start seeing fewer and fewer at the games. That's all I got.
Thank you, Chuck. That's why you hired Mike Bergonzi.
It is.
Who, to be fair, Ramon, has put together a draft class showing a lot of promise early.
Got to stack it.
Again, I mean, it's the point you made yesterday. Brian Callahan's job security, push that to the side. Say you did make a change at head coach. That's not just the only fix that's going to have to happen with this team. There is a lot of yes and. Yes, some of the play calls have not been timely. And they need a couple more draft classes to build this thing up for the future and long term, because I know they got a lot of money in free agency, but those are usually stopgaps.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, the front office is to be held accountable. Like everyone, when you're this bad, Ramon, everybody shares it.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that in that building, but they also know that they need time to draft good young players similarly to the way they just drafted this class that is contributing and looks competent. Let's go next to, let's see here. David is at Lebanon up next.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, I just wanted to bring a little positivity about the whole outcome of this season. The Kick for Kids Foundation is making a killing.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
David.
But no, just to be a little more serious. There's a lot of blame all the way around. It starts at the top, goes all the way down. The one person I think we can't blame right now is Cam. He has been a major positive look on this team. He's given everybody a sense of hope. I think it goes from top to bottom, from play calling to decisions. I mean, they're all going to have to pull together. But, yeah, man, the Kick for Kids Foundation, hey, they're making a killing.
David, you should be better.
Thank you for the call, David. Appreciate it.
Lebanon, get out of here, David.
The song Kick a Little by Little Texas has never been more popular than it has been in Nissan Stadium the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You gotta kick a little. I don't know any of the words other than you've got to kick a little.
I hope Justin does the same thing for you that he did for me on that one.
Yeah, probably. Michael in Nashville next. What's up, Michael?
What's up, guys?
Morning.
I got like three things.
Okay.
Hit me.
First thing, I just expected a little bit more from Callahan, being a coach's son. Your dad's been around the game. I just expected, not to have these issues we're having. Like, you've been around the game, your dad's been around the game. You would think we wouldn't have all these small things that happen. Secondly, I just want to know, what's the comparison of the Bengals? The first year was Zach Taylor, even though Joe Burrow's rookie year was cut short. And then the second year when they drafted Jamar Chase, number 1 overall. I don't know, it just feels like we're going in a parallel universe in sort of the Titans and the Bengals, like the first 2 years with the Zach Taylor regime and with Brian Callahan. It's like, I don't know, the only difference is we drafted 2 top 10 offensive linemen, and the Bengals never did that, but went to the Super Bowl and Joe Burrow third or fourth year. It's just, I don't know. It's killing me that we're wasting, I don't know, we're going to get Cam Ward, hopefully not get killed, but it's demoralizing in a sense because we finally got a guy that looks like he can be a stand-up guy in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Michael. Appreciate the call. You are on a similar path to Cincinnati, yeah. You are.
You very much so are.
It's a similar way of building up a team. It's a similar scenario. I mean, Zach Taylor in 2019 went 2-14, then went 4-11-1 in 2020. But, Ramon, the thing that saved Zach Taylor's job was Joe Burrow tore his ACL that year.
Mm-hmm. So he was underneath the veil of, and then they also got Jamar Chase because of that.
I think if Zach Taylor had a fully healthy season of Joe Burrow and went 4-11, I don't think he survives that season.
I don't think he does either.
So that's the question.
It's good to be lucky.
Is that good enough for Callahan?
It's good to be lucky sometimes.
We're going to go in. I can't wait for again, it's so clear what our draft conversation is going to be, Ramon, all offseason. Do you want a wide receiver 1 or edge rusher run? 615-737-1045. I can hear us.
Second round.
In the middle of March.
Yeah, they got Slater at right guard.
Maybe.
I don't think you have to get a lineman.
Maybe he's the center. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. We'll save off-season radio for off-season radio. 615-737-1045, our number. A little bit of college football for you coming up next. What was your biggest takeaway from week 4? We'll tell you ours after this.
Prince's Hot Chicken.
It's Ramon Foster for Low T, man. Synergex and Low T Centers, man, they are the original MVPs of testosterone replacement therapy. They have been changing the lives of men across the country for over a decade. Since starting, a lot of other players have entered the field, but Synergex and Low T Center are the pros, providing you with the most medically driven, results-focused, and winning approach to restoring the quality of patient lives through hormone care, man. Just talk to one of their patients, and they will tell you TRT with Synergex and Low T Center have significantly changed their lives. So don't wait, man. Get into a center, get your test. You'll be wishing you did it sooner. I tell you all the time. We always worry about the outside of our body, what we got going on. Well, am I gray? Am I getting older? Am I losing hair? No. It's time for us to worry about the inside, all right? There's a lot that goes on. There's also replacement therapy for women also. Women experience many of the same symptoms of men with low testosterone: tiredness, no energy, mood swings, low libido. So women can also come in and get tested as well. Treatment include testosterone injections or even hormone pellets for women. At Synergex and Low T Center, they have a long history of helping women to find hormonal balance, to bring back the energy to their lives and the balance that you're looking for also. So again, I ask you, what are you waiting for? Go into one of those centers where you can restore your energy like a pro and get on with the rest of your life. Book your appointment now at trtmvp.com. That's trtmvp.com. Make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
I love living in Middle Tennessee. We've got great restaurants, entertainment, sports, and one of the nation's top Ford dealers right here in our backyard. Two Rivers Ford. Remember that name. Two Rivers has been a staple in our community since 1983. They're locally owned. They have a non-commissioned sales team, and they sell below MSRP. They've been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
It is 8:03. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans are off today, but will return back to the practice field tomorrow. Yesterday, head coach Brian Callahan met with the media and talked about what he can do to not lose in the locker room despite starting the season 0-3.
We got to play better on Sundays. We have to coach better on Sundays. That's the end-all message for me. And, winning solves all that stuff always, whether they point fingers or don't point fingers. That's all we have is what we have in the locker room, and all I care about is those guys and how well we can rally our troops and go down to Houston and try to get ourselves a win.
Another NFL news, Week 3 concluded last night on Monday Night Football with the Detroit Lions taking down the Baltimore Ravens 38-30 in Baltimore. Lions star running back duo of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs each rushed for 2 touchdowns on the night. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson finished completing 21 of 27 passes for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. Running back Derrick Henry rushed 12 times for 50 yards, a touchdown, and his 3rd fumble of the year and in as many games. Some injury news in the NFL across the weekend. Los Angeles Chargers running back Najee Harris suffered a torn Achilles Sunday. Head coach Jim Harbaugh confirmed Harris will miss the remainder of the season. And San Francisco 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan confirmed that star edge rusher Nick Bosa suffered a torn ACL in Sunday's win over the Arizona Cardinals, and he will also miss the remainder of the 2025 season. And in college football news, the ACC announced yesterday it will move to a 9-conference game schedule with at least one non-conference game against a Power 4 team. For all your foundation repair and waterproof needs, you've got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show, hour 3, getting started on this Tuesday morning. Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee. VolQuest's Awesome Price joins. Tell you that if you are going to a fall wedding of a friend this weekend, I am sorry to inform you that friend doesn't love you. They don't love you.
Absolutely not.
Anyone who's forcing you to go to a wedding or a pumpkin patch or a farmer's market this weekend doesn't have your best interests in mind, and I feel sorry for you.
Remove them from your life.
I really do.
Yes, absolutely.
I really, really do. Just in the SEC, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Auburn, Penn State, Oregon is this weekend. You've got USC, Illinois. After Illinois is still giving up touchdowns to Indiana.
I can't wait to talk about
after the weekend. Fraud. It is going to be marvelous. And Saturday at the Ryder Cup, which, again, I've got my Ryder Cup hat on today. I'm flying out there Thursday. I'm going to be there Friday. Yes, I'm humble bragging. No, I don't care. I've been showing Ramon pictures of the merch tent in every single break, and the video that the Ryder Cup USA team made yesterday made me tear up and want to run through a brick wall.
Yes.
I digress. 615-737-1045.
I'm glad you brought that up because I just need to let Peyton know that you're cutting into the wedding budget. Watch him. Watch him, Peyton.
She knows.
Watch him.
I tried to buy merch beforehand. That way I, A, don't have to carry it all around when I'm there Friday, or B, spend all my money once I'm there. Like, no, I'm going to buy a hat and a shirt beforehand, 2 hats, because I like buying hats more than I like wearing them sometimes. But
I had that problem. Then I stopped buying them.
College football week 4, Ramon. We haven't been able to react to much of it because so many of you have wanted to talk Titans, so we have let you do that. What was your biggest takeaway from week 4 of the college football season?
It just proves that the Big Ten ain't what they say they are, okay? This doggone fraud of a school of Illinois, 9th ranked, and they had the audacity to fight for that? Like, to be loud, be boastful about being 9th, and you get a 63 dropped on you? Like, what? That's a lot of scoring, Will. That was most disheartening to me. And let's just stop with the Dylan Raiola thing.
Ooh.
Let's just, I know he's a child. But let's just go ahead and stop with this. You say what you want to about what the Big Ten is. Their top echelon is top of the top. I got to give them that. There's no discrispancies in that at all.
Ohio State, probably Penn State in there as well.
State
Indiana, I think, needs to be thrown in that conversation.
100%.
But after that, Michigan is solid.
They're doing that thing.
But the bottom 8 of the Big Ten is atrocious.
Punt it.
Atrocious.
Run, punt is what I'm telling you on that one, man. Even the teams that have question marks in the SEC. And yes, I'm going to do this. If you hate the SEC, don't listen to me right now. But even still, for the folks that don't like it, 29-20 South Carolina, Missouri this past weekend. Very competitive, very entertaining game. Really good. Looking at what Vandy did to Georgia State, 70-piece? That was really, really good this weekend. I'm going through the list of teams that played this weekend. Tennessee dropping it. Ole Miss doing what they did. The entertaining game of Oklahoma-Auburn. Even, like, unranked teams are doing good things, man. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, Big Ten, I know y'all got a lot going on. You got 18 schools and probably 12 of them suck. But top to bottom in the SEC right now have really dragged themselves out from underneath the grave sites and have become competitive in today's football, except for one team. I think one team is not like the other.
Florida?
Texas.
Oh, okay.
All right, don't be doing that.
Doing what?
Just standing over, flexing over guys that play for Sam Houston.
I had no issue with it.
I like that he's going to show
that guy stood over him after a hit on him the drive before.
100. I'm with it. But you have played San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston. He's supposed to do that. You get your lick back, and I can tell you how to inflict your lick back on people.
Sure.
But, bro, beat somebody.
My biggest takeaway from the weekend is that Clemson as a football program is dead. Syracuse 34, Clemson 21. No one is doing less with more than Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers. 13-point win in Death Valley. There is no excuse for Clemson to look the way that they look. They fooled me, Ramon. They fooled me. They brought back most of their team from last year. You are going to hear the names Peter Woods, TJ Parker, Avion Terrell, and Cade Klubnik in the NFL for years to come. Klubnik, maybe I'm less confident about, but Peter Woods and TJ Parker are walking first-round picks. Like, they have got Sammy Brown, I'll throw in there too, inside linebacker. There is no reason for Clemson to look like this.
Those GMs
None whatsoever.
What are you saying? In Indianapolis, them GMs going to walk to him and hug him, say it's not your fault.
Yeah. It is dumbfounding to me how bad Clemson is. I can't explain it. It's almost to the level of how I can't explain how bad Arch Manning is. Like, it's in the same boat to me. Like, this does not make sense to me. Credit to Fran Brown and Syracuse. Y'all better hang on to that guy, because if not, he is going to be coaching a major P4 program sooner rather than later. So, my goodness. I mean, the fact that Steve Angeli, who really, really stinks that he's going to be out for the season now with a torn Achilles, but Steve Angeli being the better quarterback than Cade Klubnik in Cade Klubnik Stadium?
Come on, bro.
After the way Dabo went to bat for his team and his program and the media? Cannot happen. Absolutely cannot happen. Miami took a sledgehammer to Florida, 26-7. Florida finished with less total yards than Miami had rushing yards. Think about that for a moment.
Come on.
We, as a show, converted as many third downs as Florida did in this game. 0 of 13 in this game. Quarterback DJ Lagway, 12 of 23, 61 yards. The offense averaged 2.7 yards per play. Jaden Ball still is not getting enough touches for me. 12 carries for 46 yards. Team high 3 catches for the running back, Ramon. Team high 3 catches. They are, my goodness. They are staring down the barrel of 3-9. Florida is. They really are. And those two edges for Miami, Reuben Bain.
Jr.
Reuben Bain very well may be playing in two-tone blue this time next year.
Facts.
That guy looks like he can step on an NFL roster today, including this one, and be one of the best edge rushers that this team has.
I think so.
If not the best, literally tomorrow.
And we saw it from week 1.
Yes, we did.
We saw it from week 1.
Yes, we did. So
Miami's got you had a take that we may talk about later in the offseason.
What's that?
About Miami's OC and all that conversation.
Shannon Dawson?
Yeah.
I think Shannon Dawson's really good. I think he's really good, and I think he is going to be an NFL coordinator sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
Compare him up with
They're running the NFL offense an outfit down there. They got professional players, is what I'm saying.
Coming from an air raid background, too, because that's where he cut his teeth. That's his, he is an air raid coaching tree play caller. And I think he's got a bright future.
I know Carson Beck didn't have the best game this past weekend.
Didn't need to.
He's got support to have him muster wins with 17 for 30.
Florida's got a good defense. Make no mistake, Florida has a defense worthy of them being 8-4, 9-3 this year. But that offense and that offensive line, Ramon, they returned a lot of production from last year up front. They were supposed to get better, and they haven't. And the quarterback play hasn't helped.
And they had a good stretch, I think, in the third quarter. Florida did, and that was about it.
Let's go quickly to Stockton, who's been waiting patiently to chime in this morning. What's up, Stockton?
What's up, Stockton?
Stockton, what's up?
Hey, Stockton.
All right. See you, Stockton. Missed your chance.
Come on, Stockton.
VolQuest Awesome Price talks Tennessee football with us coming up next. Relocating in Nashville is a challenge. If you've been thinking about selling your home, moving around, maybe you want to be in that new up-and-coming neighborhood, you need Bernie Gallerani on your side. For Michael, there was no doubt about who to call when it came time to sell again. Bernie Gallerani Real Estate. After a smooth first experience, he trusted the team once more and wasn't disappointed. With clear communication, reliable updates, and a stress-free process, his home sold in just 28 days. It's that kind of consistent, proven success that keeps clients coming back while sending their friends and family too. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, make the smart choice. Call Bernie Gallerani Real Estate, 615-428-2644, and let's get moving. Who says there are no guarantees in life? To check out Bernie's 30-day guaranteed sale program at BernieGallerani.com, or you can call Bernie at his personal cell phone, 615-428-2644, online at BernieGallerani.com. When the glass breaks, we talk Vols on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee, every Tuesday at 8:20. With Vol Network analyst Ramon Foster, I'm Will Bowling, joined by VolQuest and On Threes, Austin Price, breaking down Tennessee and Mississippi State. The cowbells will be clanging in Starkville this weekend. What's up, Austin? Good morning.
Are you going to make like a parody? Cowbells will be clanging.
Oh, I like that.
like a little Christmas parody. I think Ramon should be singing lead on that.
I will. I will. As soon as I learn the words, Austin, I got you. Especially if we get a dub and silence them, man. I got you next week. Promise.
You know, when I was in college, we made a parody to Margaritaville called Volunteerville.
Oh, okay. Was this on YouTube somewhere, Austin? Is there a recording of this we can find?
Right.
You know, there used to be, and then the best man at my wedding played it at the reception, much to my dismay.
Well, just send us his number. We'll reach out. We'll get it from him.
Keyword is used to be.
Yeah, that's right.
His number is 911.
I love it. Austin, what stands out about this matchup? Looking ahead to Tennessee and Mississippi State, what intrigues you about the way the Vols match up with the Bulldogs on Saturday?
I think Tennessee's just a better team, Will. I think they're the deeper team. They're the more talented team. I think all that lines up with if Tennessee plays the way they're capable of playing and the way they've been playing, I'm not sure Mississippi State can compete. If Tennessee plays down, Mississippi State is very capable of beating Tennessee. Last year, Mississippi State was not. He played a backup quarterback who was a former walk-on the entire second half. Mississippi State never really sniffed beating that game. So I think they're a better team, a much better team. I think they will be way more competitive. But again, I think if Tennessee plays the way they're capable of playing, especially at the line of scrimmage, where Mississippi State's been a little bit beat up, Tennessee's getting healthier on the defensive side. They've been healthy on the offensive side. I think that lines up for Tennessee to have a real chance to have success.
Austin Price of VolQuest, our guest. Austin, did Jalen McMurray earn more snaps? 6 tackles, pass breakup. He only played 23 snaps on Saturday. How strong is he coming on to you, and how much more could we see him out there as Tennessee continues to be banged up at corner?
Yeah, I think they still would prefer to keep him at nickel, but the way the season's playing out, I think you have to look at the potential, and especially with Boo Carter getting a little bit more run last weekend, that he could potentially shift out and basically steal a handful of snaps at corner to give your younger corners just a chance to breathe. I mean, they just played too many snaps 2 weeks ago against Georgia. Same thing on the defensive line. Can Isaiah Campbell steal 12 snaps, 10 snaps, where Eason is playing 60 instead of 65, and Dominic Bailey's playing 60 instead of 65, and they just a little bit more fresh at the end of the game. I think that's potentially the case. But to this point, they really haven't moved Jalen McMurray to corner to where you go, okay, that's what they're going to do. Like, it makes sense because he played there a year ago that he would spell Ty Redmond or spell Colton Hood if they needed to get just a brief break. But to this point, they've not elected to do that. Could they? Absolutely. And maybe that's just that they're waiting on Boo to be less mistake-prone. He's been a little bit mistake-prone. You go back to the first half last week. I mean, he did not play his best football. Now, he played better as the game went along, but I think ultimately they would like to get to a point where they can trust him to put him out there, that he's not going to have a bust. He's not going to have those little mistakes.
Austin Price is joining us this morning of VolQuest and On 3. Austin, this is the first time that Joey Aguilar is going into an SEC environment, a real one, on the road, man. How do you feel about him, the Cowbells, and just being poised for I think, a huge matchup as far as Mississippi State is concerned, and also for the Vols, too?
It's a big game for both teams. Obviously, Tennessee's had that little bugaboo on the road the last few years, and they would like to avoid what happened to Arkansas last year. Mississippi State's undefeated this late in the season for the first time in a long time. And, again, the difference between last year's Bulldogs and this year's Bulldogs is last year they went 2-10. They could – some of the teams gotten past a year ago. They're a better team, and so it will be a great atmosphere early on. The cowbells will be loud. They'll be doing their thing, and ultimately, Tennessee's going to have to respond because at some point they're going to get some adversity in this game, Ramon. At some point, Mississippi State's going to punch them in the mouth, and Tennessee's going to have to respond to that. And we'll see how they do as this game rolls along on Saturday afternoon. Again, I think getting that game at 3:15 local time, 4:15 Eastern is way better than 8 and 7.
Yeah, no doubt. You don't need them doing the whiteout or whatever they have planned. With that being said, too, these offenses are very similar. Side to side, line up wide splits. Blake Shapen, though, his ability to run, and he will run fast. How healthy are the Vols as far as containing him? Do you trust the 4 up front or the front 7 to keep him in a box when it comes down to those extended drives that I saw the Northern Illinois game that he's capable of having from time to time?
Yeah, I think you could expect Mississippi State to move the football. They're going to move it. The question is how many times does Tennessee hold them? How many times does Tennessee get off the field and force a punt? And then when they do move it, how many times does Tennessee force a field goal? You know, they did a nice job of that against Georgia, where they were able to either get off the field or force field goals, which allowed them to have a 8-point lead in the fourth quarter that they squandered away. But either way, like, it put them in position to win the game. So I guess the bigger question is can Tennessee's young players hold up if they elect to go young, or do they say, hey, you're going to play 70 snaps, you're going to play 85 snaps again? If that's the case, then I do worry about just the I won't say conditioning because I don't think that's fair, Ramon. Right. I do worry about just holding up late into the game, but I would tell you the same thing for Mississippi State. I don't think they've seen anything like Tennessee offensively. And Tennessee's, again, a deeper football team, a deeper team on defense, even with the injuries they've had. And so I think you want to be able to be a good tackling team on Saturday. Don't let Chafin take what should be a 4-yard gain and turn it into a 9-yard gain on 3rd and 7. Like, seal the edge. I think it's important to play well if you're Josh Joseph, Caleb Herring, Jordan Ross, all those guys that can really run on the defensive line. To your point about his ability to run, I think they need to play really, really well Saturday.
Austin Price of VolQuest on 3, our guest this morning on Ramon and Will. Austin, it is the weekly health question we got for you this morning. What is the latest on Jackson Moy and David Hobbs? Do you expect Tennessee to get anyone back this Saturday in Starkville?
I expect Jackson Moy to play. David Hobbs, I would lean no. I think more likely he's back after the bye for Arkansas. That makes more sense to me. And then after that, we'll see about Jermon McCoy. I think, again, the earliest he would be back is Arkansas, obviously. I think privately that's kind of the target date, but he's got to start doing stuff with the team in team periods and practice. If that starts to happen, then I think you start to cook with grease a little bit about his pending return. And then as for David Sanders, I was told last week that things had improved, like when you start doing strength tests and all that type of stuff, that it had gotten better. It wasn't to the point of playing, but it had gotten better. So does he see more improvement this week that gets him to the field? Probably not this week, because I'm not sure they're throwing him out there on the road in his first game, but to the point where, like, all right, he's back post-bye week.
Austin, I loved in the Monday night chat last night at VolQuest to the General's Quarters, somebody asking, how great is it that the biggest controversy we have right now is why a freshman quarterback didn't get more reps against UAB? But, Austin, it is still a question. Why in the world did we not see more George McIntyre on Saturday? I know the defense stayed out there for a long time, and maybe he was going in the next drive, but why do you think we got so much Jake Merklinger and so little George McIntyre against UAB?
Well, you started unlike the ETSU game, you started the second half with Joey Aguilar on the field, and Joey played a drive. Then, of course, UAB had the ball. Then Merklinger came in. I think by the time they were going to go to George, which was 8 or 9 minutes to go fourth quarter, UAB went on this long drive where Tennessee just couldn't get off the field. Every time they give them a third down, they'd give up the conversion, move the chains, and it kept Tennessee off the field offensively. And by the time you got with a couple minutes to go, I don't think Tennessee just wanted to put George out there just to hand off. I think they wanted to give him a real series, and that just didn't work out that way with the timing of the football game. Again, either way, Tennessee is head over heels for what Georgia's done through the summer, through fall camp, and into the season. They're very high on him, and I would expect him to play later in the year against New Mexico State in November when that game rolls around. But yeah, I think it's a nothing burger in the grand scheme of things, and Georgia's going to have a real chance to win the job come 2026.
When you look at the outfit of this team, man, specifically the wide receivers quarterback connection, man, I think coming into this year, I expected more Ethan Davis, more Miles Kipsman. Are you pleasantly pleased with how this wide receiver group has stepped up considering the offseason that they had or didn't have and the scholarship players? That's been a huge surprise to me, Austin. Where are you at on that one?
Yeah, I think that they've done a nice job of stepping up. I think the receivers and their play have allowed the tight ends to not have such a bulky workload to this point. I think Tennessee can totally go 2 tight ends if they need to. I think, they are a group that has got some depth to it. The wide receivers still aren't very deep, but they are talented and they're playing well. So Tennessee has some options there in the passing game. And again, Aguilar throws a very catchable ball. He's playing with a lot of confidence and doesn't let anything rattle him. Picks, incompletions, drop balls, touchdowns. He kind of stays the same no matter what's going on, which, again, it reflects leadership on the offensive side of the ball. And the ultimate leader for me on the offensive side of the ball is tight end Miles Kitselman. So, I think that group kind of works hand in hand.
In the gotta-have-it moments as far as the run game goes, it seems like they're leaning heavy on Star Thomas. Not just that, his ability to make plays, and I'm seeing him jump over guys. The transfer portal's been good to the Vols, and I feel like Star Thomas is another part of that story moving forward, Austin. Did not have him playing this big of a role for this team, considering the talk we had of Peyton Lewis and Deshaun Bishop. He's starting to separate himself, I feel like, more than I even imagined the coaching staff did.
Well, when he got here, Ramon, I think the coaching staff looked at him as a nice depth piece. A solid player at Duke, but I think he's really thrived in this offense. There are still plenty of things that he has to work on. There are still plenty of things that, keep Deshaun Bishop in the starting role, pass protection being one of them. But Star Thomas gives you that thrill-a-minute, spin move, burst of speed, big play capability that maybe Bishop isn't as, easy to work towards. So I think the fans fall in love with Star Thomas because they see the spin moves and the wow plays, when in reality, they're both providing a nice, kind of push for the run game. And you're right, those two are the top two. I expect them to continue to see the top two workloads at the running back position. Peyton Lewis still feels like he is, struggling to see it. Does not find the hole as easy as either of the other two. And, I think maybe they'll come along. But right now it certainly feels like it's Star Thomas and Deshaun Bishop, 1A and 1B in the Tennessee backfield.
If Peyton Lewis had caught that swing route, he'd still be running.
Yes, you're right.
Oh.
And again, you look at Joey's numbers. I mean, you had Deshaun Bishop dropped one a couple of weeks ago, and then he put the gloves back on. I'm almost positive that one of the coaches, might have been Heupel, said, put gloves on. It was pretty quick after that. But, yeah, they can do little things to kind of get themselves some juice, not helping each other by not catching the football, especially when Joey put it on Peyton Lewis, perfect pass. Yes. Perfect pass. And he just dropped it. So that's something they have to clean up. And those are the little things when you're on the road and you have a chance to convert a 3rd and 6 and you hit a swing pass out there and it's going to go for at least 6, if not more. You got to catch the football. You got to move the chains, keep the drive alive. Those are little things that they have to clean up as they continue to go along here.
Austin Price of VolQuest, our guest. Austin, on the way out, one recruiting nugget for you. And speaking of George McIntyre and maybe him having a strong chance or a chance to be the starter next year, well, one of his old high school teammates just decommitted from Oregon over the weekend, and wide receiver Keyshawn Bowman. Where is Tennessee at in that recruitment? And I know for someone who's been on campus, how big of a target is this as maybe the Tyreek King or Tristan Keys kind of receiver for the 27 class?
Absolutely. Keyshawn Bowman is going to be super highly rated, top 100 kid, top 50 kid, and we'll see how high he gets. But he's fantastic, and Tennessee has done a really good job there. Even before he committed to Oregon, I think he got there, just kind of got caught up in the moment, committed, and then got back here and realized, I'm not going back to Oregon. Tennessee's in a good spot there. Other teams are going to continue to push there. He's as highly a coveted of a wide receiver as there is in the 2027 class. You don't expect it to be easy. It won't be easy, but Tennessee's done a nice job of positioning themselves here post-decommitment for what I think probably some type of winner-type decision.
Austin, how do you feel going into the Ryder Cup this weekend? Are we getting the cup back against Europe at Bethpage?
I know it doesn't feel like it, but the U.S. team has gotten better over the last several years, especially at least defending home turf. You go back to 12 when they blew that 10-6 lead at Medina. They've gotten better about defending home turf. I expect them to defend it this week. I think Keegan Bradley is a lightning rod. I think, just when you look at the overall team, there's something about it. It's not just star power. It's also some nice glue players like Russell Henley or J.J. Spahn. I really like this team a lot. So I would be shocked if they don't have the cup come Sunday night. Now, we can be sitting here talking next Tuesday, and I'll be telling you I'm shocked. But I really feel like this is a team that's set up to win. I will ask you a poll question going out the door here, though.
Okay.
On Sunday night, who has the most points? Team USA, Team Europe, the Jets, or the Giants?
Wow.
Well, yeah, all you need is about 17 for the U.S. to outscore the Jets and Giants. So, yeah, I think
well, it takes 14 and a half.
Yep.
To, so I mean, just let that resonate.
My follow-up question, Austin, is who is the quarterback for the Giants? Because if it's Jackson Dart, maybe it might be the Giants. If it's still Russell Wilson, give me Team USA.
Yes, I'm with you. That poll question brought to you by the great Brant Packer.
I love it. Austin Price, our guest, Tuesdays at 8:20, talking Vols. Thank you, Austin. Good stuff.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Austin Price with us. I did last night on the Brian Callahan Show, Ramona, my weekly hit I do with Taylor Zarzer for Titans Radio on the Brian Callahan Show. He revealed a nugget to me.
What was that?
Taylor goes, he said, Rhett Bryan has said that I believe, and I think it was the first win in Titans history, Mike Keith was watching the Ryder Cup in the booth as the Titans won their first game in franchise history. So Taylor tells me that on air and goes, Will, you have permission in Houston on Sunday to be watching on your phone as the United States plays in the Ryder Cup.
Let's go.
Thank you, Taylor. Really appreciate that. And I told him, I just need to make sure I have a voice that I'm not yelling mean things at Rory McIlroy on Friday when I am there.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely there is something wrong with it if I can't talk and give sideline reports.
Nah, you be all right.
No, I'll be fine. If Rhett, if you're listening, I'll be ready. Don't worry. I'm going to be fine.
Sounds like Rhett gonna take your phone.
Coming up, that's right. We'll catch up on some phone calls. Plus, I had a feud with an SEC city over the weekend that we'll talk about next.
Is your concrete in need of repair? Maybe your sidewalk has shifted on you, your driveway cracked and sinking too, or maybe your porch steps, maybe they've moved on you. Shifted concrete can create a dangerous situation, just trip hazard around your home. It's also just a big eyesore. So Ramon Foster, whatever is going on with your concrete, Call United Structural Systems. Ask them about their polyurethane foam injections. You've heard about USS for a long time. It's the same company that's provided superior foundation repair and waterproofing to Middle Tennessee since 1994. Well, they can also fix your sunken or settling concrete. USS uses polyurethane foam injections to lift and repair your sinking concrete in just a matter of minutes. Lifted concrete can be walked on immediately or even driven on after about 30 minutes. So don't go through the long, expensive process of ripping out and replacing concrete. Reach out to the company that I trust, man. You can go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com or call them. 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems.
No matter what you're watching this time of year, whether it's football, whether it's golf, whether it's going to a Friday Night Lights kind of football game, you need the right dips. You need the right snacks. You need Daisy French onion dip. If you've been listening to the show recently, you've heard me talk about this. It's my guilty pleasure. During football season, I basically live off of a diet, a food pyramid of chips and dip. And right now that dip is Daisy French onion dip and Daisy ranch dip. They've come out with these, Daisy, and I'm telling you, they're a game changer. You can dip with chips, with wings, with veggies, if you want to mix in some health there. And I'm telling you, they are as delicious as a homemade dip. They're made with real herbs and spices, plus other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You got to try it. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Find it at a grocery store near you. Get the bag of chips, the pretzel sticks, the wings, whatever you're dipping. Make sure you're dipping it this football season with Daisy French onion dip. You can find it at a grocery store near you. Ramon Awilla, 104.5 The Zone, fueled by Scooters Coffee. Wrapping up hour number 3. Ramon, I am not very well liked in an SEC city.
This one?
Not this one.
Okay.
I think I'm well liked in Nashville. I hope.
I hope so.
I hope I'm at least moderately well liked.
Moderately is good.
There's some Vandy fans screaming at the car radios right now. No, you're not. It's okay. As Stephen A. Smith said, boos and cheers sound the same to me. LSU fans.
That's good.
Guys, let's all sit down and have a talk for a minute. LSU fans, just you and me talking.
What are we talking about?
Why are you so sensitive? What's wrong? I thought this was only LSU baseball, Ramon. Turns out you cannot say that a win doesn't look the same because a team lost at home to Syracuse without offending the team that also beat Clemson. So I tweeted this out at 12:12 p.m. during the Syracuse Clemson debacle. I said Tennessee's win over Syracuse, graph up. LSU's win over Clemson, graph down. Can you spot the lie for me there, Ramon?
Ain't much of a lie there, I'm be honest with you. It just depends on what pulls on your heartstrings.
LSU gets credit for beating Clemson in Death Valley in a hostile environment. There is no question. LSU is a really good football team. For me, if I was power ranking everyone in the SEC, I think they're the second best team in the SEC behind Georgia, to be totally honest with you. I think that's the best defense in the conference. I think that Garrett Nussmeier is playing hurt, and so far they have played to win games versus to embarrass teams. But when we only have 3 data points, or now 4 data points to evaluate football teams, they all matter. Yeah. And it's not belittling the fact that you had a good win in a hostile environment at Clemson to say that win doesn't look like it used to a couple weeks ago, because Clemson was flirting around with losing to Troy. Clemson lost to Georgia Tech. And Clemson has now lost to Syracuse at home. All it means is that if that truly shows that you are an elite team, you just got to go a little bit further now to prove it again, because that was not the proving, question-answering performance to me, Ramon, that it originally was when it happened, because now we know that Clemson's just not a very good football team.
Other part of Clemson losses, they happened at home. No neutral sites. No. You're like you playing against the crowd on the road. There was none of that. You hosted LSU. For a coach in Brian Kelly that's had a hard time winning week 1 against good opponents, and we thought you were a good opponent. To your point, and the LSU, I guess, hate that they have for you right now is we got knocked for the NC State.
Yeah. And we knocked Tennessee for
yes,
it, saying that win doesn't look like it was when we played them.
And that can be true.
Yes, absolutely it does.
And here's the other part. It's not your fault that Clemson is trash. Like, you help expose them.
No.
But this also goes on your credit line.
Exactly.
If you're late one time, don't mean you're bad, right? You're still good. You still got good credit, but, like, we still got to knock you for that. That's essentially what it is. Just be realistic about it is what we're talking about.
And I got a lot of responses too of like, well, you'll see. They'll prove it. Yeah, I will. That's the point. Is that now I have questions that need to be answered again against good. Somebody responded and tried to talk trash and was like, but their loss looks a lot better than Tennessee's, doesn't it? What about LSU's loss? How does that stack up? Tennessee's loss answered a lot of questions about what they looked like playing against a really good team, and I look forward to getting those same questions answered about LSU when they play a really good team. That's the point. That's the point. You're really good. You deserve to be top 10. I think LSU is a better football team than Tennessee right now. If I had to put them on a neutral field against each other, I think LSU would have the advantage. They've earned that. But they haven't earned as much as we thought they had when they beat Clemson in week 1, is the only point. The transitive property is not perfect. You can't play this game forever. But for right now, when it's all we have to go off of, I'd rather go off of that than our preseason expectations of teams that we fail to actually change once the games start being played.
They don't understand. They don't understand the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like, you need for Clemson to be good to help your resume be good also. It's that part of it. Like, it's, again, It's football. It's emotional as heck, and nobody wants to hear you talk trash about them. Well, good job, man. Proud of you, man, for ticking them off like that.
Richard wants to talk Titans, 615-737-1045. Hello, Richard.
I heard that the Tennessee Titans need to start winning the games, and I think we have something big here. In the next game And the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans in the next game will be Cam Ward. And the Tennessee Titans needs to keep Brian Callahan as the Tennessee Titans head coach. And I heard that J.C. Latham, the tackle, it looks like to me that J.C. Latham has been trying to be able to stand in the other way. So I think J.C. Latham needs to be waived off in exchange for the other offensive tackle and the wide receiver name that has been used, and the wide receiver that is going to be named Devontae Adams.
Thank you, Richard. Appreciate the call.
All right.
Hopefully, J.C. Latham will be back this week. Brian Callahan said yesterday that he may be available, and Easton Freeze yesterday tweeted out that he's got a chance to be back. So,
I was hoping he was saying J.C. Latham wasn't going to go back over to the left side.
Oh, is that what he said?
I think I was. That's what I was getting to say. He heard that he was working on the left side.
Paul, sure.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I couldn't understand him. Okay. Paul is in Franklin. Paul, I've got a funny story for you real quick. I literally, and this is no lie, Ramon and I were in the other room during the last break, and I was like, man, we haven't heard from Paul in Franklin in a while. It's been too long. I miss him. Then we walked back in, and your name was literally on the phone. Welcome back. It's been too long. How are you?
Well, I'm doing well. It's great to be alive and be in Tennessee. That last caller, oh, my God. All I got to say is this. The Titans suck. They suck, all right? We need new ownership. We need a new coach. They suck. That's all I want to say about the Titans. I ain't going to say tighten up. I'm going to say tighten down today. But anyway, I want to call about the old Volunteers. Let me tell you something. It's rainy in Middle Tennessee today, but it's a bright, sunny day if you're a Tennessee ball. Let me tell you something, brothers. I called a couple of weeks ago, like you said, and I was telling them about we're inching back to the 90s. Well, I was wrong, Will. We already there, brother. We there. We are all the way back. The gap is closed, Big Ragu. You hear me, brother?
Paul. Hell yeah.
The gap is closed, baby. And let me tell you one thing right now. I seen Oklahoma play. Auburn had them beat. Y'all know they did. Yeah. They ain't nothing special. We gonna wallop them when they come to Neyland Stadium. Alabama knows there's an orange freight train coming in down there. The swamp, let me tell you something. You know what a gator can't bite? He can't bite a freight train, baby, because we going to run through that swamp this year, and that train ain't going to get bogged down, baby. Let me tell you something. Last thing I got to say. I got a nephew, my brother's son, who is a student coach up there. He's on the sideline at home every game. He runs through the tee, talks to Josh Heupel every day, Coach Heupel. He said after that game that we had a bunch of commits up there, and they was blown away by Neyland Stadium, Big Ragu. So it don't shock me that they had some decommits from Oregon, because they're coming to Knoxville, baby. We all the way back. Hey, God bless you. Thanks for taking my call. Go Vols and tighten down.
Thank you, Paul.
Come on, Paul.
Appreciate the call.
Come on, Paul. Hey, man, listen to me. When Paul said wallop, you ever seen somebody punch you in the hand, roll over? Like, if you wallop somebody, you about to get knocked out. That's all I know is you ever mention wallop, okay, then you deserve to knock whoever that is out, is all I'm saying.
I love
That's
Paul
all I'm
Franklin.
saying. You asked for him, and he was
so
here.
Much.
Paul, no lie. Will brought your name. It was like, man, it's been a while since we heard from Paul and Franklin.
Who else can I summon on the phone lines? Scotty Scheffler, you out there? You want to call in and talk about the Ryder Cup?
No, absolutely not.
615-737-1045. Coming up, we will look ahead to a monster college football weekend, preview the big games of the SEC, including Ramon's first thoughts, watching the film on Mississippi State in hour 4. And when we come back, Brian Callahan talking about Cam Ward. Can he check the ball down more? How do you teach him to take what the defense is giving him? We'll talk about that next.
Around here, everybody knows, man. Genesis Diamonds is the go-to place when it comes to jewelry, especially bridal jewelry. Genesis owns the engagement ring market here, with couples driving for hours to take advantage of their no middleman diamond prices and their exclusive designer ring styles. No other store, online or in person, can give you the selection that Genesis can. No matter what style or look she wants, no matter how big of a diamond she wants, or what shape, or whether it's natural or lab grown, Genesis has it. And at Genesis Diamonds, there's no pressure, no corporate playbook, no Wall Street sales quota to meet. The trusted experts at Genesis are not paid on commission. They are there to listen, to help, to guide, to help you max out your budget, whether you have $3,000 to spend or $300,000. But don't forget this. In addition to being the leader in engagement ring, Genesis is also where you find all the finest fashion jewelry from the top designers: earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, necklaces, and colored gemstones. Also, if you've always wanted a Rolex, Genesis has a mind-blowing selection of pristine luxury pre-owned Rolex watches for both men and women. Genesis Diamonds, hands down the best, with the transparency you want, the respect you deserve, and the value you want. Learn more at genesisdiamonds.com.
It is 9:03. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans are off today, but will return back to practice tomorrow as preparations for Week 4 against the Houston Texans begin. Yesterday, head coach Brian Callahan talked with the media and was asked if he has thought about giving up his play calling duties on offense after starting the season 0-3 and said everything is under evaluation.
Yeah, I mean, everything's under evaluation right now at 0-3. Certainly, it's all a part of it. That's players in their roles. That's everything. I mean, we got to find a way to put ourselves in position to win a game. So we're evaluating everything.
In other NFL news, Week 3 concluded last night on Monday Night Football as the Detroit Lions take down Baltimore Ravens 38-30 in Baltimore. Lions star running back duo of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs each rushed for 2 touchdowns on the night. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson finished completing 21 of 27 passes for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. And in college football news yesterday, the ACC has announced that it will move to a 9-game conference schedule next year with at least one non-conference game against a Power 4 team. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Break it easy once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Into the fourth and final hour of your Tuesday morning. Ramona Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee, locally owned in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. He's Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Justin Hawkins makes the show happen. And coming up in 15 minutes, we look ahead to a monster college football weekend. All in one weekend, Ramon Foster. Here you go. At high noon, so 11 a.m. here. USC at Illinois. It's like 9 a.m. USC time. Notre Dame at Arkansas. Boy, that's a big one for both those teams. At 2:30, LSU at Ole Miss. Auburn at Texas A&M. Ohio State at Washington. Not a gimme by any stretch of the imagination. Huskies, solid team. Got a big win last week. Playing well, 3-0. Indiana at Iowa. Tennessee, Mississippi State, 3:15. And then the 2 night games, Oregon at Penn State on NBC and Bama at Georgia on ABC. If you've got a wedding this weekend, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Your friends don't love you.
I wouldn't want to go to my own wedding if it was this weekend. That's not true, Peyton, if you're listening. But tough one.
But you knew better, though.
Go get some portable chargers and make sure you've got your phones juiced up, ready to go.
The game I'm more intrigued in, besides the Vols game, what version of Alabama goes to Athens?
That's a great question. We're going to talk about coming up in a few minutes.
Yeah, and that one, and of course, I've always enjoyed the South Carolina-Kentucky game, too. I kind of want to see what that's going to look like.
You, as someone who didn't go to either of those schools, enjoy watching South Carolina play Kentucky in football?
I hate watch it.
Ugh.
I do.
No, I hate watching it.
Yeah, I hate watch it.
That's going to be an ugly football game.
And that's what I want to see. I do want to see legitimately, like, what is Lenore Sellers going to be?
He looked better last week, but
a lot of people they still have, I ain't going to say a lot of people, I've seen on the algorithm on social media, people talk about him being the top quarterback prospect. I feel like there's going to be cautionary tales of Anthony Richardson, right? Do you go with the talent versus what the production is at the school? I look at it as the same case as Will Levis is also. Like, the production at the school versus what you thought the talent was. Like, I do want to see if Lenore Sellers, because locally here, that pick, if it is a top, right, if the better the quarterbacks are in college.
The Titans should be rooting for all these quarterbacks to be
and that's
elite prospects.
Exactly.
For trade back scenarios.
That's my reason for it. I want to be able to talk about that when we get to that point.
Yep. You know who the number one quarterback is on a lot of draft boards now, and this player is the Heisman favorite now.
Justin,
you know? Not John Mateer.
Not John Mateer?
No.
Carson Beck.
No.
Oh.
We're testing intricate ball knowledge here.
Not Drew Aller. No.
Plus 700 on FanDuel.
Nussmeier.
Nope.
All the top guys we said are not.
Joey Aguilar.
Nope. Joey, though, I think is actually top 5 in Heisman odds right now.
Well, if that's the
Let me
case,
see what DraftKings has got, just so I can confirm this.
I'm even looking through the schedule trying to figure out who's what in this situation. Well, I'm not pulling from this.
You're missing one big one on a Power 4 program.
Give me a region.
Nope.
That's going to give it away. Actually, maybe it won't give it away. Drivable from where we are right now. Not Dante Moore, Scott.
Haynes King.
Not Haynes King?
God, dog. He's number one in my book. He's number one in my book.
Okay, so to be fair, John Mateer on DraftKings is number one. I'm the guy I'm thinking about is number two. Joey Aguilar tied for fourth best odds on DraftKings Sportsbook to win the Heisman Trophy. The guy I'm talking about is number two at plus 950. His team had a big win over the weekend.
I ain't got a clue, Will. You don't have to tell me.
Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza is rocketing up draft boards. Second best odds on DraftKings. And I know last night, or Sunday night, I believe, FanDuel had him as the odds to win the Heisman. Best odds. Still at plus like 700. But Fernando Mendoza, 63-10, they beat Illinois on Saturday.
6'5", 220?
No, prospect.
Okay, out of Miami.
He was at Cal last year.
Yeah, from Miami?
Yeah, he's at IU with Kurt Signetti.
Get out of here. Whoa, wait a minute. He's completing 91% of his passes?
No,
85. Oh.
He completed, I believe it was like 17 straight passes or 16 straight passes at one point against Illinois.
Yeah, no, he killing it.
Crazy to me how good he was in that game. Yeah, Indiana in that game, they ran for 312. Illinois ran for 2.
2 yards?
2 rushing yards.
Good.
They were outgained on the ground 312-2.
Frauds.
He completed, Fernando Mendoza, his final 17 passing attempts, with 4 of them being touchdowns. He went 21 of 23. Indiana scored a touchdown on 6 of 8 drives with Mendoza on the field.
I'm going to be real. If Buck's not having a Hoosier minute on this show.
He's not. He doesn't even know who his
doing it wrong.
is.
If you're not having a Hoosier minute.
Yeah, well, he's doing it wrong.
You say you don't even know who Mendoza is.
It's like getting into a fraternity party with Buck. If you asked him to name 5 Hoosiers, he would not be able to do it.
He's playing
Who do you know
Hoosiers.
Yeah, that's actually, we're giving Bert a segment idea. Hoosier Daddy. And just name random football players and ask Buck, are they Indiana Hoosiers or did I just make up that person?
Hey, Buck knows who
That's actually a pretty good
Mendoza
idea.
is.
That's actually a really good idea.
When they do,
can we have Buck on our show and do that with him this week?
Absolutely.
Play Hoosier or not Hoosier Daddy?
Yeah. Hoosier. Yeah.
Anyway. So, Brian Callahan was asked yesterday, how do you get Cam to check the ball down more? How do you get him to take what is given to him? Here's the head coach of the Titans yesterday.
Yeah, it's a constant conversation. You know, it's an awareness of down and distance. It's awareness of where check down locations are. There's a couple in the game where he did a really nice job of that, especially as the game wore on. He's understanding it. It's getting more comfortable for him. It's easier for him to get it. He knows there's definitely a part to play in sacks and making sure you're getting rid of the football. His growth from weeks 1 through 3, I think, has been tremendous in that regard. But it's something we talk about all the time and emphasize that, you know, we call plays that have options that down the field, and you're trying to get down the field. And I think early in the game, too, they played a bunch more like vision zone defense and sort of forced him to do the patient thing and do that early in the game. And I think he got better at it as the game wore on, too. And it's constant. It's going to be something that he's always working on, especially, again, 3 starts into his career. He's starting to figure out, but he's figuring it out really quick. And I think that's what is the most encouraging part, is that he really understands it, and he's trying to do those things more consistently.
Tennessee Titans head coach Brian Callahan.
Yeah, he's slowing it down, but he's slowing down the decision making is what I'm hearing. You slow down what you perceive is going to happen, and you make quicker decisions is what he's asking. Like Callie said, like he's saying the right thing, and the process is absolutely right in which they're going through with Cam too. It's just growth. You're not allowed growth when you're losing like this. You want to see growth in W's also. That's the challenging part that they have going on. And Cam's ability, again, to grow as fast as he possibly can is up to what he's allowed to do with the people around him. He's holding on to the ball, as Callie has acknowledged. We've talked about that. Well, you specifically said, like, these are kind of on Cam, too. One of those sacks, again, I would say subtracted from the offensive line because he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage, too. That is also a sack situation. He could have easily thrown it away, but his completion percentage is in the 50s right now, so I get why he didn't. How much longer will he have to grow before making real pro plays. That's the other part for Cam.
2027.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of like, do this or else you're benched, or like just how long will it take to?
No, yeah. How long will it take to actually see it move forward?
To see it
I'm
really
not talking
click.
about benching at all. Yeah, no, to actually see it really click.
Hopefully November.
Now, y'all know, like I know too, having successful moments make your confidence grows. I don't doubt Cam confidence is probably as high as you need it to be. But after a certain amount of time, like you start overdoing stuff, and that's not what you want him to do. I saw somebody in our chat early on YouTube say Cam needs to run the ball a little bit more. That's what he's good at. We're not in Kansas anymore, y'all. Okay, we're not at Washington State. We're not in college in the ACC no more. That's a little bit different running that you're talking of with the hits that you're going to have to take.
You can't out-athlete as many of the defenders at this level than you could in the Pac-2 or at Miami even.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not allowed.
Well, I asked for Scotty Scheffler to call in before the last break, and apparently Scotty Scheffler's called in. Hey, Scotty, shouldn't you be practicing right now?
Yeah, I probably should, guys, but I just got off the phone with Calvin, and he wanted me to let you know, Calvin Ridley, and he wanted me to let you know to take the over on drops this week and the under on catches. I think we should fire Brian Callahan, and let's get to moving. John Gruden in Nashville, thank you for taking my call.
Scotty with a take.
Scotty knows ball better than to ask for John Gruden to be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans.
He's an alpha, though.
Go to break.
Oh, I should not be laughing still, man. What I will do is tell you about Prince's Hot Chicken, man. The original hot chicken. The one that started it all, man. You must go with the original, man. There's numerous locations around the city of Nashville, almost every corner, man. Nolensville Pike, 5814 Nolanville's Pike. You can also, if you're doing a touristy thing with some friends, on Broadway at the Assembly Food Hall, 5055 Broadway. And I also like to just go out to the Cane Ridge outlet, man. The Tanger outlets, 4060 Cane Ridge. Also, if you're coming in and out of the city, they have a location inside of the airport, but you know them for their chicken, man. They have different heat levels for you, too. You can get plain, light, mild. That's where I stop at, okay? You can go mild all the way up to 3X high. But they also offer mac and cheese, potato salad, baked beans, seasoned fries, greens, and coleslaw. And I hadn't even told you about their lemonade or the desserts. One of the best to do it, man. Prince's Hot Chicken. Cool thing is, look, whether you're winning or losing, you can also fill up on weekends, too. They cater from 15 people up to 1,000 plus. Get as many as you want. No size is too big for Prince's Hot Chicken. You can visit their website at Prince's Hot Chicken and hit up one of the numerous locations around the city. But make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Ramona Willow, 1045 The Zone, fueled by Scooter's Coffee, Hour 4, and available wherever you download podcasts after the show. If you are a Titans fan that wants to vent about the Titans, you don't want to talk college football, subscribe wherever you download podcasts. We have plenty of Titans calls for you. Or if you are a college football fan that's saying, finally, no more Titans, then you're in luck. It's time to talk some college football, Ramon. Week 5 is going to be a movie this upcoming weekend. We're going to stay in the SEC to start with all the games that are going on. And as always, we'll start with Tennessee and Mississippi State because you have started doing film review and film of the noise pollution that is 60,000 cowbells clanging at the same time. What stands out to you about Mississippi State, your first watch through last night about what they do well?
All the cowbell bells sound like cicadas. I just want to throw that out there.
That's a good way to put it, actually. Yep.
It literally sounds like cicadas buzzing. But what stands out about them as far as the schematics of the game is Blake Shapen will run the football quickly. He's a senior. I think he's got 29 starts in his career, maybe 30 at this point. His understanding and what he wants to do with this offense is if it's not there, take off. You got to be real good with him and his keeping him in the box. He can throw it. They got a wide receiver. Let me pull up his stats real quick. They got a wide receiver by the name of Brennan Thompson, who's a speed guy, who's also a senior.
Oklahoma transfer.
Is he an Oklahoma transfer? Well, Brennan is coming into his own right now, man. He's quick. They put him in motion a lot. He does a lot of good for that offense. And here's the other part, too. Tennessee Vols fans, be alert for the broadcast this upcoming weekend. Both offenses move fast. First down, they're on the ball.
Same system.
Yep. It looks like it, although I think Heupel's version of it is a little bit more advanced than theirs. They are still running straight combat.
Deep choice, Art Briles.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it for now.
It's probably closer to the 2022 and 3 Tennessee scheme before you saw Tennessee do all the 12 personnel stuff.
Well, yeah.
In 24.
They don't necessarily line up in 12 with 2 tight ends.
Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and run the way the Vols do.
Right.
I don't think they have the offensive line to handle that either. They are a side-to-side offense, man. Defensively, to be quite honest with you, I thought Northern Illinois stood tall with them until you saw talent somewhat take over. Even the broadcaster who was in on that, former player, let me pull it up real quick, but even the broadcaster, Fozzie Whitaker, said I expected the Mississippi State defense to be pushing through more than they did at the time. They didn't. I think Tennessee can really hurt them up the middle. I think they can beat them up on the edge. I think having protection, which I'm not saying a whole lot as far as the rushers go, do they pick up the field, should be able to handle that. The other part, too, that's been stated is Mississippi State corners. They have held their own. They got really high markings by the college version of PFF. Well, PFF college. But here's the thing. Their opponents have been low when it comes down to what they've been asked to do. They played Southern Miss, and that was a tight game. Well, 34-17.
They pulled away, yeah.
Arizona State.
It's a good Arizona State team.
Good Arizona State team at the time. But Alcorn State and Northern Illinois hadn't been a lot that they've been challenged. But they do have high markings, and clearly they have some talent at the cornerback position.
They force a lot of turnovers. That is the thing about Mississippi State's defense. It is why they were able to upset Arizona State. 7 forced turnovers, 5 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and they're excellent on third downs. They are holding teams to 31% on third down conversions. Already have 5 sacks after registering 10 all of last season, Ramon. Think about that. Mississippi State registered last season what Oklahoma got Saturday against Auburn.
That's crazy.
Oklahoma got 9 sacks on Auburn on Saturday.
I saw that.
Mississippi State had 10 all of last season.
What's
insane?
The big D tackle name? I think he's a sophomore.
Which one? There's so many of them. For Oklahoma?
Yeah, from Oklahoma. I forget. Stone. Hey, Stone?
Mason Thomas is the other big one. And Jaden Jackson, who had 2.5 sacks.
Stone is a monster, though. He's top 10, top 15 D tackle if he stays healthy coming out of. I think he's a true sophomore, true freshman, one of them. But also, it's one of the game notes this weekend. Expect a whole lot of big plays, too. Don't be shocked if they hit shots down the field because they run quick and they do the same thing as the Vols. Both are tied also for 50-plus plays, 50-plus yard plays, 5 each for the Vols and Mississippi State. So 50 yarders on the season.
Two players with double-digit catches, Anthony Evans III, who transferred in from Georgia, Brennan Thompson, who transferred in from Oklahoma. Those two guys with basically identical statistics, 290 yards for Evans, 291 for Thompson. Really good in the red zone, really good on third down. I mean, that offense is going to score on Tennessee, as Austin Price said an hour ago.
Yeah.
And Devin Booth, the returner, as well, is a dynamic guy in the kicking game and return game. But Blake Shapen, when he's healthy, has always been a good college quarterback. He was at Baylor. He was last year with 8 touchdowns and 1 pick for Jeff Levy's offense before he got hurt and missed the rest of the season. Can Tennessee pressure him against an offensive line combination, Ramon, that has started a different 5 every game so far this year? That's the big thing. Tennessee needs to prove that it can out-physical and out-tough an inferior opponent.
I agree.
Because when you put on tape what you did against Georgia and prove that you are capable of that level of physicality on both sides of the line of scrimmage, games like this should be easily managed with that advantage and that advantage alone.
You best believe it.
Don't give Blake Shapen time to throw and pick apart your young corners. Get after him against an offensive line that is, I think, the weakness of this entire offense, Ramon. And I don't think Mississippi State is going to be able to run on Tennessee. Fluff Bothwell, the transfer coming in from, I believe, South Alabama, has been good, but he is not, and behind that offensive line, getting enough help to really
I agree.
Move that offense forward. So where Tennessee builds its Briles tree system around running the football, I don't see Mississippi State having that much success. Honestly, what this is the shoes on the other foot, the way Georgia's played you.
Yeah. Yes.
In the past, when Georgia has had a physicality advantage up front that allows you to play coverage on the back end, be lighter in the box, yet still stop the run and play 4-on-5 or 5-on-5 and play coverage on the back end, play the numbers game, it's really hard to beat a defense when they can do that against tempo and a Briles system. And that's what this is, a Briles and Heupel system. So
no doubt.
I see Tennessee's defense being able to stop the run well enough with light boxes to have success in this game.
If they can, to your point, 3rd, 4th down, stop the continuation of first downs with him, because he'll hold the. Oh my gosh! Well, I'll say this: on the tape I saw against a lesser competitor in Northern Illinois, he was able to just sit, wait, and then he took off running.
Yeah,
and they were dropping deeper and deeper in coverage, and he ended up getting yards.
Georgia plays Alabama in Athens this weekend. You obviously have scouted Georgia very closely.
Mm-hmm.
Having watched them in person, Ramon, do you feel like they are on the same level or a level up from Alabama going into this game that is in their building on Saturday?
I think they are a level up, and I think it's because of the quarterback play.
From Gunnar Stockton.
Them unlocking him against the Vols, I think, was one of the last keys to where Georgia wanted to be as far as college football playoffs. And are they back? If he, now here's the thing. There's a gap week, the bye week. What is he coming out of this? What are they? Did their game plan change moving forward, too? Defensively, they're going to have it. I think Jam Miller's back this week also.
He is. Tim Keenan expected to be back as well on the defensive line.
Now, the issue that Georgia has is the Vols ran well against them. With Jam being back for Alabama, how do they stomach that part of it?
Alabama is 102nd in the country in rushing offense.
Oh,
it's inexcusable for the amount of pros that are up front for Bama.
Yeah, the up front part.
Because I don't think throwing Jay Miller in there just fixes that.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Kalen DeBoer too often has abandoned the run game when it's worked, including last year in Knoxville. I thought Alabama's best pathway forward was just keeping it on the ground and not giving up on it. That, to me, is the decider of this game, Ramon. If Bama can't run on Georgia, I think it's a long night for the Crimson Tide. And Ty Simpson's played really well, mind you. I mean, Ty Simpson has been excellent in the last 2 wins, but I don't see it in Athens. I don't see it in Athens against a Georgia defensive front that's going to be able to take away the run game and make him beat you.
And especially if Florida State did what they did to the Alabama offensive line in week 1. Here's the thing. Alabama is not in a position to get caught lacking again. They got to go in with their antennas up. But this is Athens. How many times has Alabama, I need to ask ChatGPT, how many times has Alabama gone into Athens to play this type of game? You know, and it's the get-back game also with what they did in Tuscaloosa. It's honestly got a lot of Alabama fans off of Kalen DeBoer's back with how they won and had the lights show. And Ryan Williams turned into an absolute dude that week, which where's I got to look and see what he's done so far.
Yeah. I will push back on your point that Gunnar Stockton's the difference. I think Ty Simpson is good enough to win the game if he gets help. I think Ty Simpson has been fantastic against lesser opponents since that Florida State game.
Let's see, it's that part. Georgia's won against a better opponent. Bama's lost again, and they hadn't had a formidable foe since. Wisconsin was
Wisconsin is terrible.
Exactly.
Wisconsin is really bad. Really bad. So I don't really know what to expect. I'm not going close to that game with a against the spread pick. Weirdly enough, both those teams rank 105th nationally in sacks. Georgia and Alabama both only have 4 sacks this season.
Shocker.
Can Alabama run the ball? I mean, Georgia's 18th defensively with 82.7 rushing yards per game allowed. This is where I think the difference is, because this is where Alabama struggles away from Tuscaloosa. Penalties. Pre-snap, operation, little minor mental things. Kalen DeBoer teams at Alabama so far have been heavily penalized away from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And that place is going to be loud Saturday night. Georgia, as we talked about before Tennessee played them, doesn't beat themselves. 4th nationally in penalty yards, the Georgia Bulldogs. Alabama, 20 penalties for 182 so far this season. 183. Or 183. 182 yards. That ranks 43rd in college football. It's better than they were last year. Right. I'm still going to need to see it, though, in a hostile environment against an elite team in Georgia, that you cannot beat yourself, because if Bama beats themselves, they have no chance in this game. Wow. No chance.
I saw somebody say in our YouTube chat, Bama's slowly been getting better. Here's the thing.
Yeah, they are.
They're not afforded that this weekend.
No. You got to quickly get a lot better in order to upset Georgia in their home building.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I think it's a really difficult spot for Alabama. I do. LSU goes to Ole Miss. Trinidad Chambliss is not a name from the Knives Out movies on Netflix. That's a real person. He played football at Ferris State, and now he is backing up Austin Simmons as he works through an ankle injury and was the starter in Ole Miss's blowout win. This one kind of snuck under the radar, Ramon. 45-10 over John Summerall and Tulane. Ole Miss just quietly staying undefeated, still winning games. Chambliss 17-27, 307, 112 yards on 14 rushes. Is the LSU offense ready to have to win them a game?
How healthy is Garrett Nussmeier?
Bingo. Because the answer to that question might determine how this game is decided.
Yeah. It's at Ole Miss also?
It is in Oxford.
Yeah, it's correct. In Oxford. Yep. It boils down to Garrett Nussmeier. Now, the other part of this is Brian Kelly seems to be in a different world as far as coaching right now, too. His ability to seem to have taken a step forward is there. Can he rally his team? And I do think with his squad, it starts and ends with him. They got everything that you need as a squad, Will. They absolutely do. And they got the quarterback. But it's Lane in a primetime game in Oxford. You talking about the Alabama-Georgia game, I'm no way putting this in my Thursday 3. LSU Ole Miss.
I have no read on this game at all.
None.
We don't know much about Ole Miss yet. LSU, I just don't know how healthy Nussmeier is. And again, same question, Ramon, like we were asking last year, can they run the ball? LSU is still, again, putting too much on their quarterback and on their skill players. Can they run it?
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting. That is a prove-it game for both teams to the same level as Indiana, Illinois was, where either team could win in a blowout, and I wouldn't be surprised.
You want to hear something that's odd?
Hit me.
And this only AI generated, I guess, but the matchup predictor on ESPN, 73% Ole Miss. Now, it's not real, but quite fascinating. That big of a gap? LSU's not a lower-tier team to have that big of a gap.
I wouldn't give them 73% chance.
Ever since ESPN got into betting, they do stuff like this.
LSU last in the league in rushing last year. They are 15th this year. Only ahead of South Carolina. Ramon, South Carolina is averaging 80 rushing yards per game with like a regen of Cam Newton playing quarterback.
Tough.
80 rushing yards per game.
You said a regen of Cam Newton.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
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 That's very true.
It is a matchup of weaknesses because Ole Miss defensively last in the SEC in rushing yards allowed per game. Ole Miss is giving up 190 per game on the ground. I think because of that, I lean LSU in this game, but I think it's ugly. And I think if you get the same rain there that you do in Alabama, Georgia, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know what the weather forecast is in Oxford, Mississippi this weekend, but
I could tell you.
If that's an ugly, rainy, run it down your throat, grind it out game, advantage LSU. Because that defense is so physical and so nasty. I think LSU wins the game close, but I think Ole Miss may cover the number.
This weekend in Oxford, beautiful.
Okay, well, the good.
Man,
not a dirty game.
A high of 80 and sunny.
Oh, well, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now the rain clears out on Thursday.
Lovely day down in Oxford. So, yeah, the line on that game is LSU. Ole Miss is favored in that game? Oh,
I told you.
I think the wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the wrong team's favored.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the wrong team's favored. Yep.
That's.
I like LSU in that game. I know I was critical of LSU fans being overly sensitive in my mentions, but I like LSU in that game. Auburn goes to Texas A&M, a rested Texas A&M team, Ramon. The season can get away from Auburn really quickly if they lose this one and lose 2 in a row.
Another buyout coming.
9 sacks allowed last week against the Oklahoma front. Good luck, because here's a front that's just as good at A&M. Jaden Jackson, a group of 7 Oklahoma defenders who accounted for at least 1 sack. We haven't talked about the officiating in this game. The officiating was atrocious. Yeah. Atrocious in Norman, Oklahoma on Saturday. The fact that Ben Arbuckle could pull off the fake substitution, have a guy wide open, that probably works when it's on the CW in the Pac-2. How did that work in the SEC? People are watching this game. How did that work? I have no idea. But Auburn cannot throw over the middle of the field and can't throw it deep. And Auburn has a future first-round wide receiver in Cam Coleman catching footballs from Jackson Arnold.
Yeah. I got to give it to Jackson Arnold, though. I thought he battled. You saw he wanted that game.
He battled. Yes, he did. That's fair.
He was battle-tested, and it looked like it. He just didn't have enough, and the referees allowed some stuff to happen. Also, was it a fumble? Was it not, Will, for a touchdown?
I don't think you can overturn that. I think it should have been a defensive score for Auburn as well. I mean, truly, you're talking about a 14-point swing in that game. It's the same conversation that we're talking about with LSU South Carolina last year in Columbia.
Yeah.
Where South Carolina had a win stolen from them against LSU, and LSU got that win.
You know, referees get escorted in and out of the city, like whenever they do these jobs and call games. I wanted the officers to say something to the referees about, like, you got to overturn this, because that's the only way that play should have been overturned on that fumble recovery for a touchdown. That's insane. They got twice. And coulda, shoulda, wouldas don't matter. The game's settled and done, and they can't get that back. All they can do with this one is fuel themselves for next week. But I got to give it up for Jackson Arnold for battling the way he did with those 2 situations happening to him. Just wasn't enough. Also coming up this week, and I don't think they stand a chance. Marcel Reed and A&M, we talked about it before the season, quietly.
Well, how about Mario Craver? The former Mississippi State wide receiver.
Yep.
443 yards already this year.
4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns, 22.1 yards per catch. Marcel Reed is a sneaky dark horse Heisman candidate right now.
Yep.
From Nashville, Tennessee and Montgomery Bell Academy. He is playing excellently. I want to see more from Le'Veon Moss. I feel like we're talking about a run game that is not meeting expectations. 5.1 yards per carry. He's only carried it 33 times already this season. 168 yards through 3 games. A&M is a defensive front that already has 9 sacks this season as well. That Auburn offense is just so limited because Jackson Arnold can't throw over the middle of the field. And his timing, again, we're talking about quarterbacks that if their primary read isn't there, they're running and bailing quickly. It's hard to watch Jackson Arnold play quarterback. He battled. He hung in there. He made some high-level throws. Yeah. Heck, to those receivers and Fields and Coleman and those guys, how could he not? But, woof. Yeah. They could be so much better with just competent quarterback play.
Le'Veon Moss is also sharing reps with Marcel Reed, too.
Yes, he is.
As far as rushing.
He is.
So, Marcel Reed's completion percentage isn't what you want it to be. I think he's high 50s.
Gunslinger, man. He takes some chances.
Yes, he does.
And a lot of the times those chances work out to Mario Craver and KC Concepcion.
Big old matchup. What changes for Hugh Freeze if this goes down? When it goes down at this point? I'm calling it.
Well, I mean, does he have a son that's an assistant coach that he can just resign, in the middle of the offseason at a point?
Nepotism isn't real in sports. What are you talking about, Will? Don't let it breathe.
Interesting.
Don't let it breathe.
Chestnut checkers from future Senator Bruce Pearl. Coming up, Daniel and Gator Mike will lead us off on the phones as we wrap up the show. Coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Brian's Motorsport, man. Listen to me. They absolutely believe this. You go to their shop, which is located 789 West Main Street in Hendersonville, Tennessee. But as you dream it, they design it and build it for you, man. You can go to their social medias on Instagram. It's Brian's Motorsports, Facebook exactly, or briansmotorsports.com. But if you're ready to elevate your vehicle, Brian's Motorsports specializes in transforming rides with statement-making custom wheels, immersive audio experiences, and head-turning styles through custom tints and wraps and lifts and whatever you want to do, man. Whether you're looking for something subtle or complete custom build, they've done those also. They deliver cutting-edge style and performance for all vehicles, including the most exclusive and exotics types of vehicles too, man. They offer tire and wheel packages, lift kits, lighting kits, winches, interior and audio customizations, graphics, and a combination of everything else that you can think of. From mile to mile, they can make it happen to you. Give them a chance, man, to customize your vehicle. Holiday season is coming up. You can get your wife something done, yourself something done, your kids. It don't matter. Simply go visit them at 789 West Main Street or hit the socials at Brian's Motorsports.
Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up the show. I've got a problem. Ramon, I can't stop looking at Ryder Cup merch. I'm so excited.
I personally can't wait to hear about your budget just being gone.
Europe hates to see us coming.
Yeah.
Hates to see us coming. To the phones. Daniel is in Smyrna, wants to talk Bama, Georgia. What's up, Daniel?
Damn, Daniel.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah.
Morning.
Morning.
You there?
You breaking up on us.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we got you. There he is.
Yes, now we got you.
First, meet my pro. I called in last year before we went to Doc, and I said we're going to bring it, and talking about titles. Hey, the better team won, and hey, what an environment.
Which environment was that? I'm sorry. You broke up again.
Knoxville, UT, Georgia.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, no. You're right. We were close.
No, hey, I'm talking UT Bama.
Oh, yes.
So I called in last year, and I said we were going to bring it, and I will eat my crow on that, fellas.
And what happened?
Hey, I'm eating it, man.
He already called in and was the bigger man. We don't have to make him any bigger.
That's on me right there.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate the call.
That's on me. That is on me, man.
Best of luck this weekend.
I try not to be this petty all the time.
Gator Mike is here. Hello, Mike. How we doing?
Ramon and Will, do y'all got the couch ready for me?
We do. Come on down.
1-800-GRAB-A-VOL.
Dude, we are, the only great thing about my weekend was that the national champion Gator basketball team started practice yesterday. That's where I'm at. We're a basketball school now, Will. Don't you know that?
That's fair.
Real quickly, on that LSU Ole Miss game, I don't know if you mentioned earlier in the show, but did you see where Landry Kiffin hard launched her boyfriend thing?
Landry Kiffin is dating Whit Weeks.
He commented underneath that, take the over.
Yes.
Love that.
I almost think he wants to drill him in the ground, so I almost would take Ole Miss and the over in that game.
That's right.
If the coach said it, so shall it be.
Hey, good job on the radio, Ramon. I listened to pregame going up to a watch party before UAB, and of course riding around doing errands on Sunday. Great to hear Will again. So you all keep doing the good job, and like I said, it's almost basketball season, so I'll be ready.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Boy, how far we've fallen from grace, man. Gator Mike, man, listen, I had to deal with hearing from Gators for over a decade is all I'm saying, okay? That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna ask you a question that popped into my head yesterday.
What's that?
So don't ask why this popped into my head, but it did. If Florida fires Napier and DJ Lagway enters the portal, do you call him if you're Josh Heupel?
Can't afford it.
Can't? Yeah, you can. Why not?
You got George. You got Faison.
Okay.
You got George and Faison right there waiting.
Is Florida not, though, the evidence that you should always have a backup plan? Because what if your young phenom doesn't pan out?
I still don't know what DJ Lagway is with the sample size that he's given us.
I'm not saying I'm for it or against it. I'm just saying it popped into my head of like, gosh, imagine how weird that was.
I say no. I know where he does go. Ole Miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where he is going.
You think Tennessee's shopping for a transfer quarterback next year, or do you think Tennessee's going for GMAC, QB1?
I think they're searching for one, and that's because I think Merck Slinger is in the portal. He gone, in my personal opinion.
I don't think Jake McLear is going to be at Tennessee next year.
No, which is why I also think why he got the reps first this past weekend. You give him as much as he possibly can to go prove himself.
That's not Josh Heupel's job, though. But like his job, though, is to have a guy ready in case, God forbid, Joey Aguilar has to go out for a series, and you're more likely to put in Jake in a pinch.
And he did all of that. He's still letting them go because if you really want to talk about planning for the future, I guess you would sit back and let George just wait and put him up front. You go with an older veteran guy, and if he goes and proves himself, his value's up.
I think George McIntyre is QB1 of the Tennessee Volunteers in 2026. Based on what we've heard and based off of how pleased the coaching staff appears to be with him, I don't think, and again, we're not going to do off-season radio in the season. There's a long way to go. But that's why I think this is in-season radio, because George could have played on Saturday and affected his stock going into the offseason and into a QB battle, but he didn't get the chance. Coming up tomorrow morning, much more on the best weekend in sports of the sports calendar. Coming up this weekend, And we'll have Rhett Bryan preview Titans and Texans as well. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Good people, you must remember your Twitter fingers and your mic. Jayhawk, Will, you might want to put your headphones back on. It's always hot.
You got to kick a little.